modern conversation-based method. So in no time, you can start speaking confidently about real-life topics in another language.
Nosotras vamos a México en 2 días y ahora hablamos español.
Gracias, Babbel.
Sí, muchas gracias.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at babbel.com. Just go to babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's babbel.com. BABBEL.com.
Inflation is nothing more than legalized theft, because with every new round of money printing, the value of your 401k or IRA is decreased through the dilution of the money supply. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and while you can, I highly recommend you consider physical gold for your retirement account. Why? Because gold provides real wealth preservation that can withstand anything. Even better, with a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group, you pay no penalties or taxes when you transfer your current retirement funds. To learn more, text the word HEDGE to 989898. And my friends at Birch Gold Group will send you a free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold is the only gold IRA company I trust, so text HEDGE to 989898 to request your free info kit right now.
Attention small business owners, did you know that 66% of new businesses fail within the first year? Don't let your business become a statistic. Go Inesio. Build, protect, and grow your small business with Inesio Technology Solutions. Inesio is dedicated to helping our central New York community thrive by providing affordable, secure, and scalable technology solutions exclusively for startups and small businesses. Find out everything we have to offer at goinesio.com. GOINIZIO.com.
Mohawk Valley FCU wants to help you save money right now. They're extending their swap and drop auto loan promotion through the end of January 2023. Bring your car loan to Mohawk Valley FCU and they'll drop your rate up to 2% off your current rate for the remainder of the loan. That's up to 2% off your auto loan with locations on River Road in Marcy, in the state office building in Utica, and with mobile banking, you will receive the best service no matter where you are. Member focused, member driven. Visit MohawkValleyFCU.org.
Adirondack Home Furniture's Flex Steel Big Game Sale is going on now, but only for a limited time. Hurry in for discounts up to 15% off select sofas, recliners, occasional pieces, and leather furniture. With hundreds of designer fabrics to choose from, your new piece is guaranteed to have the look you want. Stop dreaming and start creating the home of your dreams with quality, long-lasting Flex Steel furniture from Adirondack Home Furniture. Beauty and comfort is made to last with Flex Steel's exclusive lifetime warranty blue steel spring seating. Stop into Adirondack Home Furniture today and save up to 15% during their big game sale. Visit their Flex Steel gallery for the best selection of Flex Steel furniture on sale. The best value and top quality furniture for your home is at Adirondack Home Furniture. You don't want to miss out on the Flex Steel big game sale at Adirondack Home Furniture. Hurry in, sale ends soon. Located at the former Riverside Mall, Horatio Street, Utica.
On the Keeler Show today. It's time to read the news and weather. Time to figure out what to say. It's time to turn the channel of the Keeler Show today. Why do we always listen? Keeler's always in the know. It makes me want to call him and tell him where to go. And now let's get things started. Andrew, let's get things started. It's time to get things started. On the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Keelerational. This is what we call the Keeler Show.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Well, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
So there's a little freezing rain, a little bit of freezing rain out there. But You know, a lot of it depends on where you are right now, but there's a little bit of freezing rain. And you might have it on your car, yet the roads aren't all that bad and all of that.
I was getting nervous. You're right. The roads were not bad. I didn't experience any ice, but they have that sheen where it looks like it might be really icy, so I was really cautious coming in.
I wish it would stick around. It makes my car very shiny.
Instead of go to wax?
The work you put into your car in the summertime when you're waxing it, all you need is a little freezing rain. You'll be just fine. Can we start with the weather? Richard, right off the bat here this morning, is piping in, and he wants answers. And I'm with him on this. I don't understand it. Someone explained to me when the temperatures all day and tonight will be above 35 to 37. Starting in the afternoon, we'll have freezing issues. I'm waiting. We won't at all. Please, media, stop scaring people. Oh. In other words, Jeff.
Wait a minute.
This
now,
is directed at you.
Where's Andrew? Breaking news, Richard. Not only that, but it's going to be, not only will it be mixed precipitation despite the fact that it's above freezing, but we will have COVID molecules falling from the skies. It'll be the worst thing ever. Look, I just read the forecast from the National Weather Service, okay? I don't pretend to be a meteorologist. Nobody thinks I am.
I'll take the forecast, and maybe this will scare you. I'll take the forecast and adjust it as I see fit. So, I mean, which do you want? Do you want me or do you want Manaski? I mean, I'm just saying.
I just read what they write, man.
I'll look at the forecast and be like, I don't believe it. Let's go this way. I don't do that. But I will say, like, when something comes up like this, be like, this is what they're calling, but I don't believe it. Is that wrong? I don't think that's wrong.
I will say this. I agree with and thought the same thing about Richard's point, is that if it's 28 now, today it's going to be up to 35 degrees, and then overnight tonight, the low is 33, and I think, tomorrow's 37. But basically, once we get above freezing today, it's not expected to drop below it, I don't believe. So I understand what he's saying.
I do, too.
But isn't it possible that the air temperature up in the sky could be lower?
It is.
It will fall as freezing rain. I mean, obviously it'll melt when it gets down here.
Coming up later in this hour, I have myths and facts about freezing rain and snow.
Okay,
ladies and gentlemen, it's a part of my. I had planned this yesterday.
This is great.
Didn't even know Richard was running with it. So as long as you're into or against one or the other, doom and gloom, here's the latest. We have had the easiest winter so far, unless you're a ski resort, and this has been the toughest winter we've had. Yeah. But according to meteorologists, a trio of storms could bring ice, heavy snow, all here to upstate New York. There's been a lot of snow in upstate New York. We just haven't seen it.
Yeah, that's true.
If you're in Rome or Camden or Dowsville or Boonville or Lowville, and I've missed so many other places.
Yeah.
You've had somewhat of a significant snowfall through the year, through the season, but it has gone away. It's melted. It's terrible. But according to meteorologists, winter weather, Richard, is returning to upstate New York with a trio of storms. Thursday, that's this morning, we could see a repeat of Tuesday's freezing rain and icy roads and sidewalks. We did see that overnight. There is slipperiness, but, everywhere I was this morning, driving in my very long route to the workplace, either trucks or people, shovels, throwing salt all over the place.
Yeah.
Just to be just to be safe.
Sure.
And I did have when I opened my car door this morning, there was a crunch sound. Well, I had to give it a little extra tug.
And I absolutely had a thin sheet, but it was a sheet of ice on my windshield. Matter of fact, it's still on there. Most of it came off. I got most of it off, but even the outskirts, the outline of where the wiper blades will go, that's still icy right now.
So this is what's going to happen this morning. Then we're going to see rain. But the further you go into the North Country, you may get the mixed precipitation. In fact, the eastern part of the Adirondacks, they say, will get hit with some snow. but nothing out of whack here. And a lot of this is coming from the storms that are moving across the country, sweeping through the Rocky Mountains and all that. Anyway, this is kind of a weak front that's coming through. However, they say, forecasters, that this is just the beginning. A winter storm will move up the East Coast late Sunday into Monday, and another one is coming in view for late next week. Now, we have a lot of respect for meteorologists. They go to school for this, and all I can tell you is this is where I actually give my commentary. I find they struggle these days predicting tomorrow's weather.
I agree.
Right now, we're predicting next week's, just for the record. But that's what they're calling for. 2 storms next week, and the trio would include this little front that we're dealing with right now.
I completely agree. I've had said previously, I don't understand. Everybody goes nuts about the Farmer's Almanac when they predict 9 months out. They couldn't get Saturday's forecast right on Friday evening. Don't tell me what's going to happen in June. You got to be kidding me.
Well, my mother swears by the Farmer's Almanac.
Well, I like your mother very much, but I disagree with her on that.
If every forecaster could do the weather the night before like this, looks like sometime in the 2nd and 3rd week of this month, we're going to be looking at a significant snowfall somewhere in there. Might even go out into February.
That's funny.
And I mean, and then here's what happens: we get like an inch, and it's like, oh my God, they were right, and they're not.
Well, and I hate to say this too, but look, did they predict a colder than normal or warmer than normal? Wasn't it a warmer than normal?
Well, I have a meteorologist coming on in the 8 o'clock hour who's telling us, Mark McGinnis, who's saying that the remainder of the winter, the remainder of this winter, could be colder and snowier.
Than the warmest and driest winter we've ever had, you think?
Well, we've had a lot of rain, though.
Well, I shouldn't say driest. Yeah. I mean, we haven't had the snowfall.
But they're saying that, and what I love is only weather people can do this. Nobody else could do this.
Yeah.
Could be, right? Not will be, could be. Well, of course, it also could be the least snowiest winter we've had, rest of the winter. So, although based on history, and I think it was my father who said this yesterday, we're in for it. We're going to pay for what we're dealing with right now. You never know, but people have been around for a long time, have years and years of history to say, I've experienced something like this, although this weather is a little abnormal.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think, would you say your father said that? I think he's completely right. I was thinking this. Matter of fact, yesterday, as I walked over the deck, because normally I'm scraping and shoveling and trying to keep the deck clean, keep all the snow off the wood, and then, you're tackling walkways and everything else. And I'm like, it's just been so easy. There's got to be a point where you pay the piper, right? There's got to be a brutal winter thing where you're digging out and you pull a muscle in your back, and then the plow comes by and gets you trapped in again. It's coming at some point in the winter.
Rob, this morning, the problem is the problem is they base the weather forecast as the ground being frozen and snow covered. That's why 35 and sunny days without snow on the ground feels like 45. That is true. The temperature of the ground plays a big role.
Sure.
Which is, when you get into those typical Januaries and the typical Februaries, where it's in the teens and we don't go into the 30s, the ground is so cold and so frozen that when it comes down, it sticks. We're not there.
Yeah,
and not even in the North Country, we're not there. What else do I have this morning?
I glossed over this. We do have some school closings and delays. What I'm going to do actually is direct people to our website because we have different dismissal times for different schools, and in some cases possibly for different reasons. So without having to blurt out multiple times and confuse everybody.
What is the CVA? CVA, I think they called last night. They called us last night.
Central Valley's got early dismissal. On our sheet, it's just listed as early dismissal. I have a time for every other district. Richfield, Springs, and Sequoia, I just have as early dismissal as well. As a matter of fact, some of these are changing as I'm live updating. But only one school is closed, and it's the Whitesboro School. They are closed this morning. And I don't know if it's weather-related or another issue, to be honest with you.
So as you look at the forecast, we're supposed to turn to rain, a mixture of rain and snow this afternoon at some point. And But the more you are in the valley, the more it'll be more rain than snow, most likely.
As a matter of fact, it says, due to inclement weather, the Whitesboro School District will be closed today. No remote instruction.
All right. How about the Supreme Court shoots down an appeal from two appeals in New York. In one case from gun owners, in another case from store owners who sell guns, asking for them to strike down New York's new restrictions. One of the restrictions is in order to buy a gun, a certain gun, it's the law that you have to keep it in a gun case. One would think that we shouldn't have to regulate something like that. I would think that most responsible gun owners, especially if they have children around, keep their guns in a place where the kids can't get to them. But listen, I grew up where my grandfather had a shotgun right by his bed.
Look, a lot of people do.
Right there. So if somebody came in, he knew what he could grab it.
But when you have to keep it in the case only when you're home, is that the case? Does that remove the idea of concealed carry because you're not going to walk into a store
I
towing
believe
a gun case?
This is that you'd have your guns locked up at home. Basically, you'd have them. But the problem is, how do you enforce something like this?
Well, right.
How is that enforceable?
And what if they search your house? You say, I just got home from work 5 minutes ago. I didn't have a chance to put it in there.
It's adding. They're trying to add teeth to a law so that if there was a shooting, if a kid got a hold of a gun, took it to school, and did whatever with it, and there was an arrest, the police could say, how did the kid get it? Was your gun locked up?
Right.
Apparently it wasn't locked up.
So we wouldn't prevent the shooting, but we would really punish the parents afterward.
I would dare ask the question, and I just don't. I think that element of the law should be something that is more of a learned behavior than a mandatory behavior. But I do kind of wonder how many cases are there out there where the guns were just laying around the house, the kid got a hold of the gun. Now, there are cases, and there was one just recently where a child got a hold of a gun, they playing with the gun, and shot his sister, a toddler. Obviously, the parents should be responsible for that. That's just incredibly, unbelievably horrible and irresponsible.
And irresponsible, yes.
Again, making a carte blanche law that states, I don't know how they could even think about enforcing it.
Well,
anyway,
look, there's another part of the law. I'm sorry. The whole thing about moral character. Based on what? You have to have good moral character. So, I mean, there's so many things where if you took an individual and said, what do you think? Make a moral judgment on somebody, whether they've had an affair, whether they didn't claim, that they won a $50 lottery ticket on their taxes, all these different things where
that clearly needs to be struck down.
Right.
That's just ridiculous.
Right.
And who gets to determine what good moral character
That's what I mean.
is? Yeah.
It varies, but from person to person.
For instance, you can look to Congress and tell me, let's start going and making a requirement to be in Congress. You must have good moral character. Right. And oh, by the way, we get to decide after we vote you in or out.
Yeah.
I mean, this stuff is they're just throwing stuff up against the wall and hoping it sticks at this point.
Well, that would make it easier to hold Congress accountable because we'd be down to 4 members altogether in the Senate and the House.
And just think about the what's his name?
Santos.
Santos from New York City area. This guy. We're learning more and more about this guy, that he just completely, blatantly lied. And I did exaggerate my resume a bit. A bit.
Listen, I didn't graduate, but I was there until there was 3 weeks left before they kicked me out.
I don't even think the college he said he went to, I don't even think he went to that school.
Listen, I will say this, though. He said
his mother,
yeah.
His mother was at her office desk. Do I have somebody that I'm not seeing? Oh, it's Tom in New Hartford. I'm going to get to you, Tom. Stand by. His mother was at an office desk when the Trade Center was attacked on 9/11. Turns out she wasn't even in the country. 2 years later, she entered the country. So this is just on. Now, here's the problem, and where I agree with McCarthy, is that knowing all of this, people voted him in. And so
Well,
mean,
I don't know if it broke until after he was elected, but I still do believe they elected him.
Some of it came out before he was elected. And I know you have early voting and everything that changes. It certainly changes things a lot. But I just, man, some of this stuff is just ridiculous. Tom is in New Hartford, wants to pipe in. Good morning, Tom. Good morning.
Good morning. As we talk about this, keeping your guns locked up. Great idea. Got to have it. Got to be locked up when you're not there. I don't know the exact terms of the law, but storage and the irresponsible storage of guns is a bad problem. But let's just say that we have the creepy peeper decides he's going to take things to the next level after doing his surveillance and chooses a victim, gets in the house, and the lady of the house is alarmed to see this fellow in her bedroom. And she has to say, "Oh, excuse me, Mr. Potential Rapist. Let me go unlock my gun cabinet, take my gun out, load it, and shoot you." No, it doesn't work like that.
Well, and Tom, I have to say, it's like my grandfather having the shotgun by the bed. Why was it by the bed? Well, if somebody came in the house in the middle of the night, he could just grab it. But you're right.
An imminent threat.
Yeah. If you've got to go put the combination in that also has a key to it, where'd I put the key? Hold on, Mr. Peeping Tom, or whatever. The other thing that is interesting about this is Ann reminded us yesterday that unless you have a no trespassing sign on your yard, this guy that's peeping there in Rome could come on your property and not be breaking the law.
That was a wonderful piece of research. Thank you for her, and thank you for broadcasting it. That was, I wasn't even aware of that. So,
and let me tell you another thing. If he's looking in your window, you can't shoot him. In New York State, you can't shoot him outside. However, a trooper once told my grandparents the reason he had the shotgun by his bed is because their house, they lived in the country. They were alone. They were elderly, and their house had been broken into a couple of times. So I remember knocking on the door once, and my grandfather came to the door with a shotgun. I'm like, it's me. However, a New York State trooper, this is years ago, told my grandfather, here's a little tip. If you're going to shoot him, after you shoot him, drag him into the house. You'll be legal.
Boy, the blood spatter experts would have a field day with that one, wouldn't they?
I think. Well, in the 70s, are they going to be able to do all that work? So
absolutely not, or DNA.
That's so funny.
Thanks. Let's keep them locked up when you're out of the house, for sure. And common sense prevails.
I think common sense should prevail here. If you have children, for God's sakes, they should not be able to get anywhere near your guns, right? So
right. I saw a show, an Alfred Hitchcock show from back in the 50s the other day on one of these, old-time TV channels, and it dealt with exactly that. It dealt with children getting a hold of a pistol, and that was back in the 50s.
Yeah, think about it.
So this is nothing new.
Not new.
It's just getting more attention now. But get them locked up, but good, and teach the children.
Well, that's the other thing.
What guns can do. Get them familiar with them.
Mm-hmm.
If take them out shooting, and get them a understanding. Maybe shoot a watermelon and watch it blow up, and so they can understand the power of what's going on.
That could be you or your sibling. Yeah. Okay, Tom. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We can call it the Gallagher test if you do that.
We could.
It's funny. Mark messaging in this morning as you and Tom were discussing that. He said, all you got to do is drag the perp in the house, as you were saying. It is funny.
Drag him in the house, clean everything up.
One more update. Utica City schools are closed this morning.
Wow.
I know.
Wow. Santa Fe District Attorney is going to announce today whether charges will be brought in the fatal 2021 film set shooting of the cinematographer by actor Alec Baldwin.
They're talking about charges?
They'll announce if there are going to be charges. I find it, based on what we've been told that happened, I realize he's irresponsible, but I find it hard to believe that he should be charged.
But hold on. That Alec Baldwin's irresponsible, or that the person...
They're saying that this is how it reads. The district attorney will announce Thursday whether charges will be brought in the fatal shooting by actor Alec Baldwin. It does not say the charges would be against Alec Baldwin. Wouldn't it be interesting if you found out that someone placed a real bullet in that gun, and they did it in a nefarious way? I mean, that would be interesting. My guess
that would warrant a murder or manslaughter type charge.
Certainly would, but I don't think we're going to see that.
I don't think we are either. But hold on. But what you just said surprises me. That it's a real gun. I mean, I know for the movie they want it to look authentic, but with CGI and all these effects, you telling me you can't mock up a fake gun?
Apparently, when using a real gun, it looks more realistic. Even though they're shooting blanks, you still have everything that happens in a real gun. So I don't know, they name the movie Jurassic Park, have dinosaurs walking around that look absolutely real. Why can't we do this with a gun? Why can't they hold a fake gun with green tape over it, and then you can make whatever kind of gun you want on there? Yeah.
I'm just surprised that they still use a real gun. This is a threat. It's happened before. Didn't some famous actor's son, didn't Bruce Lee's son die?
I believe that
from
was
this?
Wasn't that that was somebody put a bullet in the gun, right? Yeah. Davey's saying yes. Do you really know, Davey?
This has happened before, yet New York State wants to legislate.
I don't know.
Okay, good. Thank you.
If I'm confusing this, I'm sorry.
I have gotten to be able to know when I ask Davey a question, when he shakes his head yes, I have learned, Davey, when you're giving me an unsure yes shake versus one where you totally know the answer.
Right.
I'm so glad I've learned that.
Sorry.
Today, no worries. No worries. Hey, I knew, right? We're communicating. That's all that matters. While Manaski goes down the rabbit hole, I'm going to tell you today, if you're going to get your rabbits at Walmart, make sure you bring your own paper bags. Because...
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, today they stop selling paper bags at Walmart. Do they sell plastic bags, or that's illegal?
Well, actually, it was yesterday that they stopped.
It was yesterday,
It's the 18th,
you're right.
because there's a big sign soon you'll walk in. As of 1/18, no longer bags. So you
You're
got to
right.
bring your own bag.
Do you know that for sure?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. See, you can tell the difference.
Okay, so
nice, Davey.
I did go down the rabbit hole. That's true. That is how Brandon Lee died. So in New York State, gun owner, where you have the gun for your safety, they might want to make you have it locked up and all this other stuff, but you can use real weapons on the set of a movie, which is fake. Why don't they focus on that? Number two, and the other thing is, I don't understand. Look, this isn't a legislative. This is Walmart's decision, right? That would make more sense to me. I was going to say
it is Walmart's decision.
Because they say you can have plastic. I ordered Chinese food the other night. I get a plastic bag. Nobody else can give you a plastic bag, but I can get it in my to-go food.
That's because they didn't write the law in Chinese. They're like, we thought, I don't want to do. If I do an impression today, I'm sure I'm
racist.
I'm breaking a law.
Yes,
but the law of politically correct.
Yeah, don't do the impression.
Okay, mine is pretty good though. I mean, it's pretty accurate. I mean, I sound just like A Christmas Story when they were serving the duck. I sound just like that. That wasn't exaggerated, was it? Well, maybe
not
it
at
was
all.
a little bit. So I won't do it. But anyway, the one more I wanted to bring in about complaints. Oh, this is kind of interesting. Do you have the person in your life? I got to get to my snow myths. That's coming up.
I'm sorry.
I
derailed this.
Do you have a person in your life that when you ask them a question, you've decided, maybe I shouldn't have asked? Like the simple question, hey, how you doing? Well,
Yes.
let me tell you.
Yes.
Is that me? Would you tell me if it's me? Because I do feel like I live the Larry David world where there's always something going on.
No.
Yeah, some guy almost hit me on the way into work. There's always
Yeah, you always have a
I
story,
always have
but
a
no.
story,
It's
but
not
woe is me, like, you're not gonna. This is awful. You're not gonna believe it. And but there are those people that you don't want to. Because once you engage, it brings the whole place down, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, what to do about a coworker who complains all the time? This is kind of interesting, and we'll get into it a little bit, but it's also going to kind of parlay into where we're going with employees in remote work. If you're in a company where they allow you to work remotely, and it's effective and efficient and it's working, why would you mess with that?
It's a good question.
Because there's somebody in charge who's like, I like the good old days when everybody used to come to work.
Yes.
And I do think that is a part of this.
When the workflow was interrupted by inter-employee drama. That was fun.
Think about it. Think about what the stress you're avoiding by not going to work and dealing with the person who's always complaining.
Right.
Anyway, we're going to talk to Ryan Schmelz coming up from Fox News in a second. There is it legislation we're talking about here?
I believe so. There's a proposal on the federal level to get federal employees to come back. Or make them come back.
To make federal employees come back to work. Now, keep in mind, this could greatly affect workers in this area.
Yeah, I was thinking.
We have a lot of federal workers.
In Rome, right?
And, we have federal workers really all over. I mean, you have the federal office building. Those people that work inside there are federal workers. People who work at the post office. I don't know how you can deliver the mail and do it remotely, but although every time we get a substitute on our route, everybody gets everybody else's mail.
Yes, this happened to me the other day.
Yeah. And there's one neighbor that'll never return it. So you have to call the postmaster, and I'll be doing that later today because I didn't get my mail yesterday. Nonetheless, that's a different story. I don't mean to go off on a tangent.
Oh,
there.
woe is you, Bill.
Here I am doing what I said I wouldn't do. So anyway, we'll get into all of this coming up in a second. And but I want to talk to Ryan Schmelz about these federal workers. And you're right, out in Rome, DFAS, which handles paychecks for the military through a good part of the military throughout the world and the country. Many of them have been working remotely. And that could all come to an end soon. And Ryan Schmelz, good morning. What do we know on this?
All right. Good morning, gentlemen. So this is a bill from House Republicans that would force federal workers to return to work in person, and it's called the Show Up Act. So the Show Up Act did fail to pass in May when Democrats controlled the House. So while this might be something that might be able to control or pass the House this time around, if Republicans aren't able to get any buy-in from Senate Democrats, it looks like this is going to have a difficult time passing.
Just in the nick of time, the Republicans take control of the House because, there are people who would say people should be, if you're going to work, you got to be at work. But there are those, I think, that are very efficient, especially if you're for DFAS is a great example. It's accounting. And it's all done online. It's all done through computers today. So if you can do that at home and you're efficient at your job,
right?
Why is that bad?
I could see if there was a production issue.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's what some of those who are in support of this have been arguing, that this would make government more serviceable because they've had some issues with customer service, at least in different parts of the federal government, especially when people call in and are requesting either records or something related, some other service related to that. But, there's been some unions who have argued that the bill kind of denigrates the federal workforce and also is kind of hurting recruiting and retention because telework has become a pretty popular form of working now. And it doesn't mean that every single federal worker is, 5 days a week out of the office. But, a survey by the Office of Personnel Management did find that 25% of 500,000 federal workers were teleworking 3 days a week. So there's some interesting notes there when you talk about who's, working from home and who's not.
It's like, Ryan, right now, are you in the Fox building in New York, or where are you?
I'm in the Fox building in D.C., yes.
In D.C. So, but you could easily make this phone call from
your
home.
living room. Yeah,
you could.
I'm sure I could. Yeah, I mean, obviously, when you cover Congress, you kind of have to be at the office a little bit more than than others who might be. But there are some days, and we've had people, if they get sick or they have a COVID scare, they'll work remotely. It's not uncommon for us at all.
Well, I mean, having the option to be able to do it remotely, I think, is just fantastic. And then you have your policies after that. The other thing is, if you're looking to get that younger worker, you better come to the realization that in order to get the best talent, you may need to allow for remote working.
It certainly is a big recruiting tool now. That's kind of something that the unions who are opposing this bill have kind of argued is that, recruiting and retention, when you have the work from home option, young people seem to be very into that. But another thing I think that's interesting here is that Muriel Bowser, who's the Democrat D.C. mayor, has kind of been pushing for the Biden administration to kind of have some type of plan to bring more workers back downtown. The D.C. has a lot of federal office buildings, as you can probably imagine. And one of the things she's trying to do is actually get more D.C. residents downtown. So one way of doing that is to have more workers working in the office downtown. So it's certainly something that's interesting. Her office is not, I don't think, commented publicly on this bill just yet, but it's something that they're looking at.
That's an interesting that's an interesting issue right there. No doubt about it. All right, Ryan, thank you, sir. Have a wonderful day.
Hey, you too. Thank you.
Ryan Schmelz with Fox News. Yesterday, we received news that Remington Arms is going to be taking the Model 700 product line and moving it out of Ilion. Currently, the 700 and the 870 are made in Ilion. And so what the company plans to do, according to Darcy, the CEO, the people that tanked Remington, the original Remington, financially,
right,
and sent it into bankruptcy, those very same people are now running the new company. You do know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Brilliant. So according to the memo that was supposedly in-house only, but we got a copy of it, what they're planning to do is to put to make this more efficient and to maximize their production opportunities by having all centerfire rifle product lines in one location. That would be moving the 700 to Georgia, and all shotgun product lines in one location. That would be keeping the 870 production line in Ilion. Don't you think, though, that what we're talking about here as we're trying to ramp up employees, we're hearing, and we don't know exactly, but 250 employees now work at Remington. That's about 1,000 shy of 10 years ago. And with the new company, we're going to rebuild, and wait a minute, we're going to move our global headquarters to Georgia. That was a blow, no doubt, right? Terrible blow.
Yeah.
And now they're building a manufacturing facility. It's a multi-million-dollar deal that they put together with the governor of Georgia, who was promised 850 jobs. So you're moving that line there because you got to follow through on that 850 jobs.
Look,
But I'm going to tell you, it's stunting the growth of Ilion. It may not. They're saying it may not cost employees. They'll retrain them for the 870 line, but it certainly doesn't mean Ilion will be expanding.
Correct. If there's an issue with doing business in New York State, can't they call up the Trump attorneys, move a figure here, slide in this line here, take one out, and then all of a sudden you'd have New York State paying you instead of paying taxes?
Here's the dirty little secret, and you can blame New York. It's easy to say, well, you know what? They don't. This is a state that isn't friendly to guns.
Well, I was saying from a tax standpoint.
They've passed all these. Well, you're right. There are that you can't deny. But as for the gun laws in New York, there's nothing preventing them from manufacturing guns or any of these guns. If there's a sales issue where there's certain guns that can't be sold, or they have to have certain qualifications in order to be sold in New York. That's going to be the same whether you're making them in Ilion or making them in Georgia.
Correct.
So nothing really changes there. It's a great excuse that this company likes to use, but nothing is going to change. We'll speak with Ilion Mayor John Stevens on the issue. Really interested, how much has John been able to communicate with the new owners of Remington? We'll get his answer coming up in a second. All right, I told you I've got just a few minutes left before we do news. Snow myths, freezing rain myths. Are you ready?
Yeah.
And you know what? This actually comes from the Farmer's Almanac. These are all real. But there are many myths out there. For instance, two snowflakes cannot be the same. No two snowflakes are the same.
I've heard that.
Okay? I don't know. I've seen two young liberals that look identical. They're identical twins. You tell me they're not the same, I'll argue with you about it. Actually, we're talking about real snowflakes here. 1988, a scientist at the National Center for Atmospheric Research found two identical crystals during a storm in Wisconsin. Absolutely identical.
Okay.
However, if the snowflake is large, it is highly unlikely that you would find two of the same.
Okay, so it can happen.
It can happen.
But it's rare.
Do large snowflakes mean it's only a passing flurry? I'm not even going to give you an answer on that one. That's stupid, right? Well, these large snowflakes mean that's not real. When you get the large snowflakes and it continues for a long time, you get more accumulation.
Yeah.
Snow may fall when temperatures are above freezing. That is absolutely true.
Yes.
Snow is not...
Richard.
Snow is not white. It's translucent. So as you're dreaming of a white Christmas, it's not technically accurate. That is also true.
Oh, it is translucent.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, just for fun, a yodel won't cause an avalanche. If you're wondering, you're out in the, yodel-hee-ho, that's not going to kill you. You're going to be okay. Do you know there are 35 different types of snowflakes?
No.
I'm not going to get into them, but there are. Snowflakes grow on their way down. As they're falling, they actually get larger.
This is true or false?
That's true.
Really?
Yes. Snowflakes travel up to 9 miles an hour. Somewhere between 1 and 9 miles per hour is how they travel.
Wow.
It can be 100 degrees warmer inside a blink.
It can be 100 degrees warmer inside an igloo.
An igloo. You're absolutely correct. Yeah. Igloos, it's really quite amazing how that, and if you ever were, when you were a kid, you dug a hole in a ditch or something and you went down inside, it's cold outside, it just would warm up inside. Incredibly, that same effect. But igloos can be quite toasty.
It's fun. I told my son we were going to make like an igloo in my front yard this year, and we got one snowstorm we got.
Right. Think about that. Let's see. What else do I have? World's largest snowflake. The largest snowflake on record measured 15 inches in diameter and 8 inches thick and fell in Montana in 1887. How do we really know that happened?
I know.
Come on.
I know. It's one of those things where you have to be on hand to measure it, so you really have no idea.
How about the greatest depth ever recorded of snow? In California, they hold the U.S. record for the greatest snow depth ever recorded, a total of 452 inches, or 37.5 feet, recorded on March 11th, 1911. I don't know. If you go up into Old Forge or outside Dolgeville up near Salisbury and you look at those snowbanks, see, the difference is that's a snowbank caused by a plow.
Right.
I mean, those things it's like unbelievable when you see it. World record snowfall in 60 minutes. Lake effect snow events help command the record books in this category. Copenhagen, New York holds the record for the most snowfall in 1 hour, 12 inches an hour.
Get out of here.
I told you the story. We were at Keeler during one of those big snowstorms we had a few years ago, and the car was completely cleaned off. We were there for 1 hour, came out, and there were 7 inches of snow.
Wow.
It was 7 inches of snow on my car. 7 inches in an hour. That's impressive.
By the way, largest snowflake is Michael Moore, not whatever they said.
I was trying to think of someone portly that I could have used, and that's perfect. Let me break. I'll give you some more of these coming up next hour. These are all real. WIBX Utica Rome, 7 o'clock.
We're up to the ceiling in debt. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The U.S. reached the debt limit today. We cannot borrow any more money, but the Treasury Department says it can fund government payments until June.
We're not going to default on the debt. We can prioritize debt. In fact, current law allows for the prioritization of paying your debt payments. We're not going to default.
But Congressman Chip Roy tells Fox Business House Republicans will demand spending cuts in talks to raise the debt limit. Democratic Senator Joe Manchin says something has to be done.
$31.4 trillion of public debt right now. And all we're saying is, should we not make sure that we all recognize how we got there, how we prevent from going further?
President Biden wants the limit increased with no strings attached. Republican Congressman Greg Steube is in a Sarasota, Florida hospital after reports he fell off the roof of his home. A state Republican Party official tweeted last night, despite suffering several injuries, Steube's doing well. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin is in Germany ahead of another $3 billion military aid package expected to be unveiled to help Ukraine fend off Russia's invasion. As the UN's atomic watchdog continues to worry about the war leading to a nuclear accident.
There are going to be teams of experts placed at each of Ukraine's 4 nuclear power plants. The International Atomic Energy Agency already has a presence at the largest, Zaporizhia. It'll expand that strategy to others, including Chernobyl, the now closed site of the world's worst nuclear disaster in 1986.
Fox's Jonathan Savage saying she has nothing left in the tank. New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern is resigning after more than 5 years in office.
Because with such a privileged role comes responsibility. The responsibility to know when you are the right person to lead and also when you are not.
Ardern became well known internationally with a response to a massacre in New Zealand and in the COVID pandemic. The Prime Minister in 2018 became just the second world leader to give birth while in office. America's listening to Fox News.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel vPro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
As a Walgreens pharmacist, I talk with people all the time about little tips and tricks for filling their Medicare prescriptions, like taking advantage of Walgreens 90-day refills to save them a trip, or using Refill by Scan, which is super easy and right on your phone. And for anybody worried about prescription costs, I say, hey, we got you, with low-cost copays on many medications.
Let's talk about making things easier. Walgreens is here. Fill your way and save at walgreens.com/Medicare. See pharmacists for restrictions and exclusions.
Just a few clouds right now. We have 28 degrees. WIBX News Time is 7:03. This news update is brought to you by My Carl's Mega 4-Day Sale. It starts this Friday. Queen mattresses from $199, sofa and love seats from $799, and bedroom sets from $599. Shop My Carl's today in the New Hartford Shopping Center or at Destiny USA. We have a winter weather advisory continuing until 10 a.m. this morning, and we have some school closings and delays. We'll begin there. The following schools on an early dismissal: Adirondack, Central Valley, Dulgeville, Herkimer-Bosse's, Herkimer Central, Holland-Patton, Little Falls, Mohawk Valley Christian Academy, Mount Markham, New Hartford, New York Mills, O&D Young, Poland, Remsen, Richfield Springs, Sequoia Valley, West Canada Valley, and Westmoreland. I will direct you to our website for the exact time for the dismissal for all of those individual school districts. We also have some schools that are closed today. Notre Dame, Utica, all Utica schools, Utica Academy of Science, and Whitesboro schools are closed today. Again, the full list at WIBX950.com. An Oneida County grand jury returning an indictment for murder in connection with a fatal shooting last month in the city of Utica. Police providing an update to their homicide investigation and what officials have called a senseless act of violence that resulted in the death of 20-year-old Tyrus Freeman. Following the indictment, cops say they have arrested and formally charged 28-year-old James Ware in the shooting. The Utica man faces 1 count of second-degree murder and 2 counts of criminal possession of a weapon. If convicted on the second-degree murder charge, Ware could face a minimum of 15 years in prison and potentially be sentenced to life behind bars. Members of the Syracuse Common Council speaking out about the tragic shooting death of an 11-year-old girl this week. Brexley Torres Ortiz was hit by gunfire as she walked home from the store where she was going to buy a gallon of milk. She was rushed to the hospital but later died from her injuries. The majority leader of the council there says she believes someone knows who killed Torres Ortiz and that efforts will be made to crack down on crime in the city. A central New York community being named one of the best for first-time homebuyers. Mattydale finished in 9th place in the latest list that was put together by Realtor.com. The rankings based on multiple factors, including job opportunities, affordability, commute times, and the number of places to eat and drink. Portsmouth, Virginia, was ranked number 1 on the list, followed by DeForest, Wisconsin, and Windsor Locks, Connecticut. The New York State Office of Fire Prevention and Control beginning a new outreach effort to protect firefighters and their families from the threat of cancer. One goal of the initiative is to raise awareness among members of the fire service about how they can develop protocols for cancer prevention. Data shows that firefighters are at a higher risk of getting cancer because of the toxins they're exposed to at the scene of many emergencies. If their gear is not decontaminated properly, officials say they also may be exposing family members to some of those dangerous chemicals. And Governor Kathy Hochul's nominee to serve as the chief judge in the State Court of Appeals rejected by the Senate Judiciary Committee. Yesterday, Judge Hector LaSalle was taking part in a confirmation hearing in front of the committee in Albany and faced questions about his judicial record. Governor Hochul says she believes the hearing was not a fair one because multiple senators revealed how they would vote in advance. The governor didn't say if she'll take legal action to try and force the full Senate to vote on his nomination. Your WIBX Weather Center forecast. Again, we have a winter weather advisory in place until 10 o'clock this morning. Rain possibly mixed with some snow showers, becoming all rain after 5 p.m. today. We'll have a high of 35 degrees. Total daytime snow accumulation less than a half-inch expected. Rain showers overnight tonight, possibly mixing with some snow showers as well, and maybe some freezing rain. An overnight low of 33. Friday, rain showers and snow showers before 1 p.m., then snow showers for the afternoon. Friday's high 37. Looking ahead to the weekend, mostly cloudy with a high of 31 on Saturday. Right now, we have just a few clouds, 28 degrees. WIBX News Time, 7:07. Here is Keeler with sports.
Okay, sorry. It's all right. Let's do the IBEW Local 43 Sports Report for you here this morning. So this is wild news. The Dallas Cowboys have added a kicker to their practice squad. Any surprise there?
No. Look, he's just the backup. If they have a 40-yard field goal on Sunday, they're trotting Maher out there. They are.
I would.
Vizcaino's the quote backup.
I would think so, but you know what? If he's missing again,
yeah, then maybe
they'll put him in. We're talking about Brett Maher. Is that how his name? Maher. As in Maher Tuna.
Yes, Maher.
Brett Maher's meltdown where he missed, what was it, 4 field goal or 4 extra points.
And I didn't realize this. I caught this on one of the sports shows yesterday. I don't know if it was ESPN or what it was, but he missed in their previous game an extra point in their final touchdown. So he's missed
5 in a row.
5 in a row. He did ultimately make one, I believe, before the end of the game.
I believe it might have been a field goal.
Or
maybe it was an extra point.
Monday.
Anyway, interesting stuff as the Cowboys get ready for their game this weekend. The Rams looking to replace several coaches after their debacle. Their coaching staff is going through some major changes. The Athletic reports that L.A. parted ways with special teams coach, the offensive line coach, defensive backs coach, assistant defensive line coach, defensive assistant as well, and others gone after their debacle the other night.
Now, mind you, this is a team that won a Super Bowl less than 1 year ago.
Think about that. And how about the Bulls and Pistons are set to play a game this afternoon. It'll be the first NBA game ever played in Paris.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's
maybe
cool.
It's the first NBA in Paris. I'm sorry. It's the first game in the NBA in Paris since 2020. It's a little different.
They had to crack open the history books for that one.
My apologies. The Wizards topped the Knicks at MSG last night. Final score 116-105. Tonight, the Nets visit the Suns. 3-time NBA champion. Basketball world mourning the loss of a 3-time champion. Chris Ford has died at the age of 74. Last night, NHL, the Islanders fell to the Bruins 4-1. And the Rangers will host the Bruins tonight. I should also tell you that Utica City FC is home on Saturday night at the Adirondack Bank Center. That game is set for 6:05 p.m. They'll be playing the Baltimore Blast. Other local action, the Comets This weekend, the Comets are home Friday against Syracuse. And then Saturday, they go on the road to play at the War Memorial in Syracuse against the Crunch. One more note on the Comets. You remember the blackout game?
Yeah.
That is scheduled for this Tuesday to be picked up at the 2:43 mark remaining in the second period.
Oh, wow. How long ago was that?
That was
It was a while ago. But
yeah.
So, and is what they're going to do is basically a half a game.
October
almost.
17th.
Or about 2/3 of a game.
Well, but listen how they're going to do this. This is going to be a very unique game to attend. One of the most unique, they're calling it one of the most unique events in sports. They'll finish up the 2 minutes and 43 seconds left in the second period. Then, without an intermission, they're switching sides, and they're going to play the third period. Okay, so why have them play for less than 3 minutes and do an intermission?
Right.
So that's what they're doing. So if you have a ticket, had a ticket to the 17th, you can show up. They're doing $3 beers, $3 popcorn, $3 hot dogs. If you're in the building by 7 p.m. When the puck drops, they'll have warm-ups before and all sorts of specials going on, celebrating this very unique event that'll happen on Tuesday night at the Adirondack Bank Center. Utica Pioneers, the men's hockey team, number 2 Utica, second in the country right now, at Lebanon Valley this weekend, Friday and Saturday. And that is sports.
So I did double check. Maher, as we're calling him, did make the final, after their final touchdown in the fourth quarter, he did hit an extra point.
He did. Okay.
He did. So he missed 4 straight. There was a 5th one that he did connect on. And Smitty's.
You forgot Syracuse on Saturday.
I completely ignored them on purpose.
Okay.
Sorry.
We knew we were going to go to you anyway. So.
Okay, what Syracuse plays Saturday?
Georgia Tech
Okay.
at noon, and the
All right.
game is on Yes.
All right. Thank you, Davey.
You're welcome.
At 7:12, coming up, we'll talk some Remington, the latest that we know on Remington Arms and their announcement that came yesterday. John Stevens, the mayor of the Village of Ilion, will tell us what he knows. We'll do that coming up next here on Thursday morning at WIBX.
Oriskany Garage is your locally owned tire store that will compete with the internet retailers and chain stores on price, but we promise to crush them with personal and professional service. Give locally owned Oriskany Garage an opportunity to earn your tire and auto repair business. Brakes, tires, funny noises, warning lights, or any of your auto repair needs. Come and experience best of the best service at Oriskany Garage or online at ogtire.com. Come on and say it with me and make the noise. ogtire.com.
First, we decide where we want to go. Then we need to know the best way to get there. Hi, my name's Adam Barada. I'm the owner of Advantage Gold. We're the highest rated precious metals firm in the country. We teach people how to own physical gold and silver. Now, we've won the Best of TrustLink Award 4 years in a row because we educate our clients on how to buy gold and silver the right way. We don't pay celebrity spokespeople millions of dollars. We'd rather pass that value on to you. Call 800-900-8000 and speak with one of our experts. We'll send you a free gold kit along with my latest #1 national best-selling book, The Great Devaluation. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. Get the best information, the best process, the best service, the best value. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. Call 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
Are you sick of being just a number or doing a mindless job? Become a craftsman in a trade. Become an IBEW electrician. The IBEW and the Electrician Training Alliance will give you all the tools necessary at their state-of-the-art training facility. Earn as you learn. Paid training while you get your certification. What are you waiting for? Become an IBEW Local 43 electrician. Call or go online today to learn more. Find your career at IBEW and let the Electrician Training Alliance light up your future.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. Divorce can be complicated, especially if children are involved. If you're a father and want to protect your role in your children's lives, remember Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men with matters like these for 30 years, and we'd love to help you.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's New York attorneys. 518-554-0000. Online at CordellCordell.com. 100 Great Oaks Boulevard, Suite 110, Albany, New York, 12203.
Blending bluegrass and jam band music, Chicken Wire Empire brings a contemporary spin to its Midwest stylings. Hear what Jamgrass is all about when the band performs for the Concerts in the Court series at 7:30 p.m. on Saturday, February 4th at Munson Williams in downtown Utica. Enjoy live music in the intimate setting of the museum's Root Sculpture Court.
For information on tickets, call 315-797-0055 or visit mwpai.org. Sponsored by Elizabeth Lemieux.
Well, we had windows from New York Sash put in our home in the front of the house. We'll do the back of the house this spring, and it changes a lot. I told the story the other day where your home is just more airtight. The windows don't let that sun in to maybe when the sun shines on furniture or fabric, it can cause, like, we had a candle on our dining room table, and the sun came in, and it must have had glared off something, and it melted the candle.
Yeah, it was reflecting and multiplying.
It reflected and melted the candle.
Wow.
Isn't that interesting? Well, it doesn't happen anymore. Now with the New York Sash windows, they have a protecting film that actually prevents that from happening. Again, their service is incredible. The people that do the work are just great. They take care of your property. And New York Sash is calling this year. The Chinese say this is the year of the rabbit.
Mm-hmm.
The New York Sash people say this is the year of the giveaways. Every month, 2023, New York Sash will be giving away a prize in their showroom. And right now, you can enter to win a 6-month membership to the Mill Family Fitness Center in New York Mills. They want to help someone start off the year properly. And if you're looking to improve your well-being, stop into New York Sash, enter to win the January showroom giveaway, a 6-month fitness membership with a value over $200. No purchases necessary. You can also take advantage of their buy two, get one free sale, which is going on right now. Buy 2 New York Sash windows, get one free. No limit to the savings. No purchase necessary on the giveaway. Just stop in to enter to win at New York Sash, Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
A couple comments on what we've been talking about here this morning. This, we stream live on YouTube in high definition. You can watch on your big screen TV. Wow. Amazing. Listen, this is some guy in the 540. Department of Defense employees just started this week having to go to work once a week.
Oh, really?
In person, yeah.
Oh, wow.
At least for the Army is what he says, or she says. Although this person claims they're a guy in the 540. Roxanne, Yorkville has mail delivery problems as well. Not like it used to be, and they had no technology in sorting. It's the worst in all of my years receiving mail, she says. Our mail people are perfect until there's a substitute.
Right, and I was going to say...
And then it's all hell breaks loose.
So
I have a giant number on my mailbox.
Right.
How can you not see that? I think he's screwing with us. I think he's just like, I'm going to mess with these people. They're all going to be scattering out. This is a good way for neighbors to meet neighbors. They have to go to the door and bring the mail over.
I'm
trying to improve society here.
All right, so 2 things. One is that we have a great mailman in our neighborhood. He's there, he's consistent. He doesn't really mix mail up. I think he's great, right? But I think somebody was filling in for him. And this actually, the story I'm about to tell has nothing to do with mail. It was a package delivery just before Christmas. So immediately next to me, I have a new guy bought the house, moved in there. I don't really know him that well. Just kind of in passing, hey, how you doing? Welcome to the neighborhood, right? So, and he's got a doorbell camera, right? My roommate had ordered something for his girlfriend, and it's a rush to get it before Christmas. So he gets a notification on his phone, your package has been delivered. Goes out to the front porch, no package. heard and saw the truck pulling away. So he kind of glances over and sees there's a package on the neighbor's porch. So he goes, well, I'm sure that's mine. Let me go over and check. And sure,
let me tell you.
it says his name on it. So he walks over, looks, it says his name, grabs the package, comes back in, and he goes, hey, listen, I just wanted to let you know. And he tells me the story. And it must have been the look on my face. And as he's wrapping up the story, he goes, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to wait until I see him pull in, and then I'll go over and explain to him what happened, because the Ring doorbell popped on when he went over. And I said, look, I just don't want my neighbor thinking he's got to worry about stuff that comes in the house because someone's going to grab it. Just show him the package, let him know it was yours and it was a mistake. So he did, and actually they had a nice little conversation about it.
You could do it on the Ring camera, right? You could be
He said when the thing popped down, I kind of froze, and I said, I'm just letting you know, like all that slow talking, like he was, alarmed by it. And he said, I tried to hold up the package, but I don't know if he's going to be able to read my name off
I'm
the
going to
box.
tell you something. When I didn't get my mail yesterday, I immediately took the mail that was put in my box to my neighbor's box, took that to them. But now I'm wondering which one of these stinking mailboxes I'm looking at right now has my mail in it. One of them is a treasure chest. One of them is my little treasure chest. So I'm picturing myself going from mailbox to mailbox, looking inside and checking the mail. And I'm thinking, meanwhile, there's one neighbor in our neighborhood who hates me. I don't know why. I've never done anything. Trust me, it's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. When you hate somebody, make sure you put a posted sign on the lawn in the middle of a residential section, please. I can't go there. I can't go there. I just got to hope they'll bring it to me.
Did you leave the Bills?
No, I'm a Bills fan. I'll remain a Bills fan.
No. I mean, the bills you have to pay that you get in your mail.
Oh, that's
leave
what,
them
right,
in your neighbor's mailbox.
Take the bills.
Keep those, and I'll just take all the other stuff.
Take all the bills and bring me the checks. So that is that's what happens when you have you're trying to bring in new people today. It's not easy in this world. Bringing in new people to work. JV has a story of his own.
Well, we moved a year ago into my dad's
I do know
house,
that, yeah.
And we live in a trailer park.
Okay.
So
nice.
It's mostly senior citizens that live in the park. But when we have a substitute mailman, they get in an uproar because our mailman comes at a certain time, like 12:30, 1 o'clock.
Right. A lot of times the replacements will use a different route.
Right. So about 3 weeks ago, our mail on a Saturday didn't come until like 5:30.
Oh. Normally, what time does it come?
It usually comes at noon.
Oh, yeah.
And let me tell you something.
Upset people.
Oh, yeah. These people were pacing. This one lady was in her car driving up back and forth like 45 minutes, boom, boom, checking the mail, boom, boom, checking the mail.
Well, I think that's illegal. You're not allowed to go. It's a federal box. Exactly. You're not allowed to. You can't put anything else in there. You're not supposed to have a newspaper delivered into it.
Really?
You're not supposed to go.
You're not supposed to
go in it. Yeah.
Wow. That's why they put the little newspaper box below.
I left a little note for my neighbor. It said, just put my mail next to the posted sign you put up. If you could. I'll get it. I'll get it later. On my side, please. Sorry.
Do you have problems with mail in Alien Mayor?
I don't know. I've never heard of much. I know what you're talking about because.
Well, you don't have problems in Alien because Billy Gainey's delivering
the
mail.
Yeah, Billy, but up on
you
up
have
on the
no
hill.
worry.
He's on it.
He is in good shape. He is walking around. I mean,
he's probably one of the happiest people alive when they went to unlimited phone minutes.
Oh,
because when he first started out, he was always wearing the earpiece, and you could tell he was talking. But when they first started, they didn't have that stuff. Now it's they all do it all day long. That's all you hear him is talking.
Talking away.
The dogs hear him
walking
coming
down
up the street, start barking when he's 6 houses away.
He can't hear it. Yeah, he can't hear it. And listen, I just think mail people have gone through a lot in the last couple of years. A lot of cuts and everything else. It's not easy.
No.
But they're hardworking, and it's just when they're trying to bring in new people, the new people, it takes them a little while to figure out the route.
Gotta get a routine.
Change. Nobody likes change.
No one likes
the
change.
Truth.
All right, let's talk about change in Ilion and learning yesterday. It's funny how Remington announces any changes. They usually do it in an inside memo that is restricted to only inside Remington, and then it gets distributed out to everybody else.
Right.
And I know that yesterday they had a union meeting, and that's when it was they had learned that they're moving the production line, the 700 production line, moving it to Georgia. That can't be good.
As we spoke yesterday on the phone, I started getting media calls early, mid-afternoon.
Yeah.
I've got nothing.
Still have not
Still
spoken
have
to
nothing.
anybody.
I've had no contact with the folks at Remington. I've tried on a couple various occasions to, start a dialogue. Obviously, in my first time as mayor, we went through the SAFE Act and the micro-stamping. And I had very good dialogue and very good communication and relationship with the folks there. Understandably, it's a different group. But I've made attempts via email. They read my email, because I can see that they've read it. I'm not good at the tech stuff, so I just know they read it.
They'll tell you that they can read it.
Yeah,
They've read it.
but I've had no correspondence back other than one of the owners did send me a thing saying, thanks for contacting us. I'm going to have some knee surgery from some issues, and I'll get back to you when I'm up and about, and that was in September.
So no communicate. I mean, you would think with something like this, you would want to communicate, because the memo was going out to their business partners. I would think that for Remington, Ilion would be, and Herkimer County and New York State would be considered a business partner.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, you have the representative that Ilion now has and Herkimer County has is Elise Stefanik,
correct,
who has carries some weight.
Yeah.
It would be nice for her to sit down and really help the people of Herkimer County and really the region, because people who work at Remington aren't just from Herkimer County.
No.
But I think it's time for everybody to reach out to Stefanik's office. I did yesterday, and I didn't hear back. But she could have some influence.
Correct. I believe so.
On Remington officials here.
That'll be the morning agenda for me today is.
While the governor may very well be not necessarily friendly, you have a very friendly congressperson there when it comes to gun manufacturing in the U.S.
I believe on the local level, our assembly and Senate.
No doubt about it.
Very much on board with this.
Yep.
And as you know, at the county and the local level, we are as well. It's disturbing. I know it's not going to be back to the days of old. We're not going to have 1,400 people working in that facility. I don't think we'll ever see that again.
8 or 9 years ago, we were saying we're not going to be back to the days of old when there were 3,000 people working there.
Right.
We're going to have to live with 1,500, and now
we're hoping for 500.
Now you're hoping for 500.
I think there's probably roughly around 300 there now. A positive out of that, I guess, is the fact that they've said they're not eliminating any positions. They're just going to move them all over to the shotgun line. Now,
it would be better news if they were making the 870 in Georgia, and they're moving the 700 down to Georgia, and they're going to bring the 870 up here. But that's not the case. They're ramping up down there.
Correct. Yeah. From what I understand, again, I'm kind of going like you guys are. I'm kind of going by what I'm told. I guess from out on the street.
Were you a part of the Time magazine story a couple months ago? And that was how companies like Remington are using local governments, state governments, and even the federal government using back and forth to come up with deals, and that's exactly what they did here. Remington has done it in classic fashion. They cut a deal with the governor of Georgia, and all they had to do was promise 850 some odd jobs.
Correct.
And they just they followed through on a promise here with this move.
Right. But now remember back to what they did previously down south.
In
They
Alabama.
promised the same in Alabama. They promised the same thing. They never met that criteria.
Well, these are different. This is a different company and different people.
Sort of.
Sort of.
Sort of.
Yeah, because the same people that were operating then are operating it now.
I believe some are. I'm not sure if the whole ownership group is, but a portion of them are. Your dad, my dad were both longtime employees there, and that was one of the first phone calls I got when the news came on at 5. My father, how long till they're all gone? I says, Dad, I can't answer that because I didn't know about this one. So fingers crossed, hopefully never. But that all falls back a lot of that in a lot of people's minds is just because of the history.
How could you? You have the history. You also have an enormous facility.
1 million square feet.
Wow. I mean, what would...
It's inefficient, but it's 1 million square feet.
In its day, I thought it was kind of interesting that I looked up. Let's see what they're doing in Georgia. Now, if I'm correct, are we running one shift? How many shifts are
I
they
believe
running?
there's two right now.
There are two.
Yeah, first
because
and second.
there's at least a second shift in Georgia.
Yeah.
But when you look at job openings, there are several right now listed for the Georgia facility, and I think 3 or 4 are listed for Alien.
Yeah.
So it's not a good sign.
I-
But
you
in the
know-
day,
Yeah.
all those parking lots all around, that place was jamming with 3 shifts, 7 days a week. They were
we used to
operating.
have 3 different police officers that would direct traffic when the shifts changed.
You didn't want to be in Ilion at 3:30
in the afternoon. No, you avoided downtown Ilion at all costs.
because you couldn't go anywhere when everybody.
The only
when
people that were
Remington let out.
downtown Ilion at 3:30 years ago were people that didn't know that
Didn't
didn't
know
live in
any
Ilion
better,
And
yeah.
Remington employees.
and
so we're
Remington
leaving.
employees that were
Yeah.
leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but it's certainly depressing, and it certainly bothers me a little bit that I didn't even get, myself or any of the other local elected officials
A little
had
heads
no
up. Yeah.
no heads up, nothing. Usually
And the
it's
more
the
com-
opposite. I'm telling you guys what's going on.
I
and
know.
Yesterday it was you guys telling me what was
And
going
the-
on.
and
I was
the-
like,
and the more communication they do, the better it will be. It'll cause less fear with employees.
good or bad.
And, right.
Right. Your point's right on, Bill.
Yeah.
Because even if it's not necessarily positive news,
And here they could have sold us much better. They could have sold us by saying, this is about efficiency. We want to see all the rifles made in one place and all the shotguns made in one place.
Right.
And we're going to invest in both of them. This is the beginning of that transition.
Correct.
We're going to make both facilities better. That's how it could have been pitched.
Yep.
And it really was in one line in a memo.
Right.
That ended up being leaked to everybody.
and you got more info than I do.
Yeah,
I've yet to see a memo or
All right.
I'm running blind here on this one. So
Speaking with John Stevens, Ilion Mayor, while we have you here, the latest on the water in Ilion, where do
we have
stand?
started the main replacement program that will ramp up quite heavily in the spring. I think we've already had spring, but we haven't had a tough winter yet. This apparently this afternoon on is going to bring it back
for a little while.
But they've started work with that. They've started bringing materials in. They're storing them. We've started the new water tank in Russell Park. So it's moving along. But the water department's been busy. We had 7 main breaks in December. We had 2 in the first 3 days of January. Knock on wood, we haven't had anything since those. I probably just jinxed that, so we'll see how the rest of today goes.
I do have to say I ran into somebody recently at the Waterfront Grill when we were setting up Mark Butler's big event with Rocky Fiato coming up next weekend. And this couple said they still have discolored water.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that when you begin to replace those lines, it's going to mean some inconvenience.
Yeah. I've said this from the get-go, Bill. Where I live, up in your old neighborhood, I've never had a drop of
Is that
dirty
your
water.
phone? Somebody's phone going off?
No.
Okay. Oh, Davey.
Oh, Davey.
Come on,
I've
man.
never had a drop of dirty water in my house. One street over, on your old street, looks like iced tea. There's no rhyme or reason to any of this. We don't know. We shut one system off, we turn another system on, vice versa, lower this, raise that.
So it's a problem there, too, on like 4th Ave.
Yeah.
Because we never had an issue.
Yep. No.
But
people down the street from your old place would call me, and then people up by your old place would. I had nothing. So, I said this probably a couple weeks ago. We don't have a water quality issue. We have an infrastructure distribution issue because the water leaving the plant is fine.
Yeah.
Once it gets in the system,
well,
all bets are off.
That is a major problem.
Yes,
no doubt
very
about
much
it.
so. But we're on it.
Okay,
Bingo.
Mayor, thank you. Hopefully, you'll have a better line of communication with the Remington
I
officials.
hope so. Again, that's the agenda for this morning. We'll see where we get.
All right.
Before I leave, I'd like to say the villages, on behalf of myself and the village board and most of our employees, our thoughts are with the Knopfer family. Our DPW supervisor, Tim Knopfer, 32-year-plus employee, passed away yesterday with a valiant battle from cancer, and we lost Tim. So we're thinking of the family and, keep him in your prayers and thoughts.
All right. Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks.
We'll break and come back. Wanted Person of the Week. We'll get into that. Also, Brian Luska, from it's
Niscopa. Sorry,
from Niscopa. Of course, and corrections officers, 4 guards injured in the last incident. These guys and women are really their lives put in danger every single day. We'll get to that, and Hope Bikers' free money question of the day coming up.
How do you sum up 70 years in 30 seconds? The Community Foundation of Herkimer and Oneida counties has helped nonprofit groups put more than $110 million donor dollars to work over the last 7 decades. Programs, services, people, places, progress. Our 30 seconds are about up, but we're just getting started. Learn more at foundationhoc.org and help us work toward a vibrant region with opportunity for all.
Inflation is nothing more than legalized theft, because with every new round of money printing, the value of your 401k or IRA is decreased through the dilution of the money supply. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and while you can, I highly recommend you consider physical gold for your retirement account. Why? Because gold provides real wealth preservation that can withstand anything. Even better, with a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group, you pay no penalties or taxes when you transfer your current retirement funds. To learn more, text the word HEDGE to 989898. And my friends at Birch Gold Group will send you a free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold is the only gold IRA company I trust, so text HEDGE to 989898 to request your free info kit right now.
Make a New Year's resolution that's easy to keep. Help protect your identity and finances with LifeLock Identity Theft Protection. LifeLock detects identity threats you may miss on your own. And if you become a victim, LifeLock will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses. But LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself. Join now and save up to 25% off your first year. Go to LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS.
Mohawk Valley FCU wants to help you save money right now. They're extending their swap and drop auto loan promotion through the end of January 2023. Bring your car loan to Mohawk Valley FCU and they'll drop your rate up to 2% off your current rate for the remainder of the loan. That's up to 2% off your auto loan with locations on River Road in Marcy, in the state office building in Utica, and with mobile banking, you will receive the best service no matter where you are. Member focused, member driven. Visit MohawkValleyFCU.org.
I don't know about anybody else, but I love delicious cheeses. The charcuterie boards are really an awesome appetizer and a great thing to bring to someone's home. And now we have a business in town that actually does it. If you have any passion about cheese from around the globe, made in small artisan batches and aged to perfection, we have the perfect answer for you. It's artisanal premium cheese. Sample a large selection of cheeses from around the world. Add their delicious restaurant-quality breads and charcuterie from Italy and France, and you have the perfect evening, the perfect event, the perfect gift when you walk into somebody's home, the perfect Valentine's Day. Artisanal premium cheese, located in the Hemstratz Building, 900 Oswego Street, Utica, open 7 days a week, or online at artisancheese.com. Looking for a great gift, a great taste? They ship anywhere in the country. Located at 900 Oswego Street in Utica.
We have a few clouds around and expecting some freezing precipitation to come later today. A winter weather advisory is in place. We'll take a closer look at that forecast coming up in just a few minutes. I want to remind everybody we have a list of school closings and delays, which includes many early dismissals. You can find that list on our website at WIBX950.com. The number of schools closed this morning is now up to 5, I believe. Brookfield, Notre Dame, Utica Schools, Utica Academy of Science, and Whitesboro are all closed today. For the list of early dismissals, just head to WIBX950.com. We'll take a closer look at that winter weather advisory coming up in just a moment as well. Most voters think President Biden's handling of classified documents was inappropriate after documents from his time as vice president turned up at his Delaware home and a Washington, D.C. office. The results of the Quinnipiac University poll conducted last week break down largely along party lines. 85% of Republicans find fault, compared to just 36% of Democrats. The federal government is poised to hit a new debt ceiling today, or the debt ceiling today. That's the limit of money the government is allowed to borrow to meet its financial obligations. The debt ceiling currently stands at over $31 trillion, and Congress is considering raising the limit to keep the U.S. from defaulting on its debt. A winter storm bringing dangerous conditions to the Central Plains will head to the Great Lakes region today, packing heavy snow, sleet, and freezing rain. Snowfall from Nebraska to Michigan, along with high wind gusts, will make travel dangerous with near zero visibility at times. We're expected to catch remnants of that storm coming up later this week. The Massachusetts man accused of killing and dismembering his wife has been ordered held with bail until his next court appearance. In court yesterday, prosecutors said Brian Walsh Googled 10 ways to dispose of a dead body. They say evidence points to him having dismembered his wife's body before putting it in a dumpster. And gas prices keep climbing. The national average price for regular fuel is $3.37 a gallon. That's according to AAA. That's 2 cents higher than yesterday and 10 cents higher than it was just a week ago. Your WIBX Weather Center forecast again has a winter weather advisory in effect from 10 this morning until 7 tomorrow morning. Rain showers today, possibly mixed with some snow. Becoming all rain after 4 p.m., a high of 35 degrees. Tonight, rain showers, possibly mixing with snow and freezing rain through the overnight, a low of 33 degrees. Friday morning, rain and snow showers before noon, then snow in the afternoon. Not expecting much as far as snow accumulation tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow's high, 37. Right now, just a few clouds around 27 degrees. WIBX News Time, 7:41.
Okay, Davey, what do we have? Who's on? So he's on line 2, right? Kevin James, Captain Kevin James, Rome PD. It's the Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers Wanted Person of the Week. And Captain, good morning. Who do we have this morning?
Good morning, Bill. Today we have Stephen C. Cruz, 39-year-old male. He's approximately 6'3" tall, approximately 240 pounds. He is wanted on 2 separate warrants. The first is a bench warrant for criminal obstruction of breathing and harassment. These charges stem from a physical domestic that occurred in October of 2020. The second is an arrest warrant for criminal obstruction of breathing, 2 counts of criminal mischief, unlawful imprisonment, and assault third. These charges stem from a physical domestic that occurred last week. Note that these incidents do not involve the same victim, and Cruz has a last known address on West Thomas Street in the city of Rome.
Okay. The full story is up on our website, WIBX950.com. There's a photo and details and a link in there where you can connect with Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers. Captain James, if you could, Crime Stoppers, a great way to give police information without giving your name up, and a lot of people want to be anonymous.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. With the new changes in the laws, discovery, bail reform, all that, any tool that we can use to help us out, and again, let the tipsters remain anonymous is just extremely useful for us. It gives a little bit more of a peace of mind for those that want to give us information.
Yep. And can you give us any update? Do you have anything? I'm catching you off guard here, but I'm wondering if there's anything on the, quote, Peeping Tom situation in Rome.
Yes, we are certainly making some headway. If anybody wants to give us information on that as well, that is greatly appreciated. And also, if there are other victims out there that have not reported this to the Rome Police Department, please do so.
And can I clarify, we had just had this brought up about if you don't have a do not trespass sign on your property, someone looking in your window is not necessarily against the law. Is that true?
If they're on your personal property, we can do it would be a violation trespass.
Okay, got it.
Instead of the criminal trespass.
Okay, fair enough. Obviously, if you have a do not trespass sign, that could be treated differently.
Correct.
Okay, all right. It's a crazy world out there, Captain. It's just a crazy world.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
yes,
Lordy. Okay.
Well, thank you for that info. That's an important distinction. I wondered when we heard that. I said, boy, that can't be.
Yeah.
But that it
Makes
totally
sense.
clears it up. It does make sense.
Captain Kevin James, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Great. Thank you.
Have a great day. And the full story, Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers, Wanted Person of the Week is up on our website at WIBX950.com. Brian Luska, stand by if you could. We're going to get to you coming up in a second. Right now, Davey, we're going to do our free money question of the day, and I have a dandy coming up. It's worth $100 from the Hobico Law Firm, and you're looking for caller number what?
4.
4. Okay. All right. Seems like you just picked that one out of the air. Nothing.
Yeah, it came from me from the sky, and I picked up 4.
It's amazing. Caller 4, the fourth. Sometimes the reason I bring it up, sometimes his numbers are significant. Like,
yes.
I want number 4 because I don't know. I had 4 bagels this morning. That's my reasoning.
Watch those carbs, buddy.
Fourth caller through the lines right now. Chance for you to win from Hobica and WIBX next.
Are your brakes noisy? Do they vibrate? Is the brake pedal soft? Is your ABS light on? Don't take chances with your brakes. In the Utica area, locally owned Oriskany Garage is going to be your best choice. Quality parts installed by trained and experienced technicians. No tricky upsells, just the work that your car needs done right. All backed by a great no-hassle warranty. Oriskany Garage on Champlain Avenue near Utica College or online at ogtire.com.
After 32 years as a mason, Steve retired right before the holidays, but that career took a toll on his body, and he never slept well. He said he was going to get a new bed, but he and his wife, Angela, never made it in before the holidays. They came into Mattress Express in New Hartford on Commercial Drive next to Red Lobster and selected a Q9 King number bed, flex head. Steve liked his side firm. He was a 40. We elevated his head and feet and put the massage on high. He said he hadn't felt that comfort in years. Angela, who'd been sleeping in a separate bed because Bill couldn't sleep through the night, liked it softer. We set hers on 32, elevated her head a little less, her feet a little higher, and put the massage on low. They said it was perfect. They were thrilled to find out we held over our promotion of $1,000 prepaid Visa card or a 75-inch flat screen TV. Steve got the TV. It was affordable because they qualified and signed up for the 5 years, no interest, no money down. Make that trip today or call 1-800-NEW-BED.
I had to leave one. Nothing's ever cleared out my sinuses as well. I'm blown away by how Navage works. That's a review from Carrie, and it's one of over 100,000 online testimonials praising Navage. I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I've talked about flushing out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs. How Navage's powered suction can help you breathe better, and how your nose is the body's air filter, and Navage will clean it out. But don't take my word for it. What do people like Chad say, who wrote, Navage has helped clear out my nasal passages every single night. My wife says my snoring has gone way down. Snorefest be gone, unquote. Navage is the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million customers to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Good morning, Bill. Isn't it Bill ready to play? How could you ever sing to this song? There's no way to sing to this music. The hell kind of music is this? Where do we get our bumper music? This is terrible. Here's Bill in Stittville. Hello, William. Good morning.
Hi there. How are you?
Good. What are you doing today in Stittville?
Waiting for the freezing rain.
Yeah, it's coming. It's going to be terrible. Probably the worst we've ever seen ever. If you listen to the radio or TV, it's like, man, have these people ever been around winter? And then you know
Not
what?
all our lives like we have.
That's right. That's the problem. They get all excited like something big is going to happen. And this whole winter is nothing but just a letdown. So anyway, I'll take it, I guess. Though.
A letdown. I'm looking forward to these.
For those people who rely on winter, and if you're out trying to build a skating rink in your front yard, where are you going? It's terrible.
you know, as
or the businesses that rely on snow.
The ski resorts are getting crushed, and snowmobiles. Those businesses getting crushed.
As comedian Drew Carey once said, very funnily, he said, you know, I'm out there in the middle of winter with one of those spray cans with the, oh boy, I can't remember what they're called. The spray, like a spray paint can. It's got and they say it's bad for the environment. It's melting away the, oh boy, Jeff.
Ozone layer.
The ozone layer. Thank you very much for the assistance. And he said, sometimes in the winter I go outside and just start spraying stuff, and I'm saying, screw the grandkids. I'm cold right now. Okay, that was a
Bill,
painful joke to tell.
Bill, do you think you could just stay on the line all morning and finish our
thoughts?
Oh, we'll have to negotiate a price.
I think we're going to have. All right, here's your question. You're going to have 7 seconds. 7 seconds, all right? Are you ready?
Yes.
Here we go. You'll take a shot at winning from the Hobica Law Firm, Joseph and Andrew Hobica at 315-724-1600. Here is your question. In 1949, Sheldon and Norma Baslow opened this legendary business in Herkimer, a business that is still active and selling product today. What's the name of the business? Ready? Go.
The Library Bureau.
The Library Bureau. That's a great question. I believe my dad, shortly after getting out of school, worked at the Library Bureau many, many, many years ago. Herkimer cheese.
Herkimer cheese.
Yeah, they have that cheese ball that has the nuts on top. Around. That is the greatest thing in the world. I could just eat that like an apple. Bill, we're going to give you from the not really from the Comets the all-in-one food and fun card. It's a $25 gift card, good at any of their properties: Aquavino, Babes, 72 Tavern and Grill, Taylor and the Cook, and concession stands at the Adirondack Bank Center and at Nexus. Also, Fat Cats Comedy Club. We have a table for 6 for you at any of the shows this weekend. Davey's going to hook you up with that and work out your schedule and stand by. You win for losing, Bill.
Wonderful.
All right.
Thank you.
Don't go anywhere. Davey's got you covered. Brian Luska is on the line right now. He's with Nyskova. And there have been multiple incidents recently at correctional facilities, and recently 4 guards have been injured. We have a serious problem on our hands right now. Brian, good morning. Oh, Davey, how did I lose Brian? Okay. Is that Brian on 2, Davey? He's on 4. Okay. He took my line away. Hi, Brian. I gave you a great introduction, all wasted. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
All right. 4 of the guards have been injured in recent incidents. Can you talk about that and how dangerous this has become?
Yeah, I mean, again, we've talked on many occasions about the issues in our prison system. Hate to sound like a broken record, but the truth is it's absolutely 100% the legislators' fault. They have single-handedly made the prison system 10 times more dangerous than it was before the halt.
Yeah.
You have inmates with 0 consequences. So you got an emboldened inmate walking around.
Yeah, yeah.
Can I ask what happens? I know they've taken away the halt, which is the solitary confinement or single housing unit. But what happens when an inmate is accused of assaulting a guard? Do they face additional charges? Do they get a longer sentence? Is there a punishment area or holding space that they go to for at least a little while?
Go to the special housing unit for 15 days, maybe, depending on, what the sentence guideline is. So they could get up to 15 days in SHU, and then they go to an RRU where they're in a cell, but they come out of the cell 7 hours a day. They get their food delivered to them. They get to talk on a tablet all day long. There's actually inmates that like going to the RU. They encourage other inmates to go to the RU. So now they're committing infractions just to go there because they like it. I mean, so there's absolutely no deterrent for them not to do this.
Have we entered a world where we no longer punish and remember the the facility is called a correctional facility, and there are certain things that are done to correct behaviors and a mentality of criminal behavior. But it almost seems that we're no longer correcting.
Nope. I know our state's headed in the wrong direction. I don't know about the whole world, but it seems that way, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
I mean, really, we had a chance this past election. I mean, they retained their supermajority, Democrats in the Senate and the Assembly. So again, they can run roughshod. The governor has no balance of power. They can override anything. She vetoes it. They can override it. So there's absolutely zero balance of power in Albany right now.
So I believe that in certain facilities around the state, there were problems. There's the classic story of the kid going in for a minor crime and getting stuck at one of the New York City prisons and just forgotten about, and ultimately he died in prison for nothing. It just was a terrible story. And while I do think that exists, and I am a believer that we should not be convicting people wrongfully, we should not be treating people improperly. However, jail is jail, and I think we've watched this pendulum swing so far one way that it's causing a disruption. But I do think part of the problem today, I was watching an interview 2 nights ago about this, and the woman was she may have been in the legislature. She was a legislator in New York State, and she's saying, listen, we've already made changes to bail reform, and we shouldn't be talking about it anymore. This is working. And these are Republican talking points that are inaccurate and not real. It's almost like we're dealing with a cry wolf type problem. So that when you're standing up and saying we have a problem, they feel as if you're lying. So we have a communication problem more than anything else.
Yeah, a lot of they won't. We used to have lobby days if you're going back, and we go to the Capitol building and talk to senators and assemblymen, and a lot of times we would talk to some of these individuals about our issues in the prison systems, and they tell you flat out to your face, we don't care, we just care about the inmates. So that's what we're dealing with. And
wow.
And there's more of that now. It's a lot of the downstate New York City
right.
legislators who, as far as I'm concerned, they just want zero accountability for their constituents, whoever's voting for them. They want to just let them do whatever they want. And it's all about the vote. That's all it's about. Look what I did, look what I did, look what I did. They're signing bill after bill after bill, but nothing's really getting done.
Well, it is getting done. It's just getting done in their favor.
Sure.
How is this hurting recruitment?
It does have an effect on recruitment. It's a double-edged sword. So we put the information out, right, because you want to bring awareness to the situation so you can get it fixed. But then if people see that, I'm sure it does deter some people from taking the job. Obviously during COVID, recruitment was down. After COVID, it was getting a little better. The academy classes, we used to have 100, 120 recruits graduate. We're seeing numbers now, 24, 46. I think we're up in like the 60s or 70s now. So it may be getting a little bit better now.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, we've got a comment here from a retired correctional officer who says, it's not just a saying, it really is the inmates have more rights in the prison than the officers do. Do you agree with that?
I don't want to say they have more rights, but they entertain a lot of their nonsense, and just because the laws on the book and the way policy and procedures are from law, it does seem like that, feel like that.
Yeah.
But they do have a lot of rights.
Yeah.
I don't want to have any more rights because you always had rights in prison, right? It's not like you've always had rights in prison.
You're still locked up. Yeah.
It's just what frustrates a lot of officers, especially a retiree who started, probably 30 years ago, right? And he sees how much the prison system has changed over the years.
Right. Yeah. Right.
That I to a certain degree, yes, I do agree with that statement.
Brian, we'll keep pushing on this issue, and I really want to push to get somebody from downstate who is misguided on and talk about it. We'll get you back on soon, Brian. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Bill.
All right, good luck out there. WIBX Utica Rome. 8 o'clock.
We've maxed out our credit card. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The U.S. hit the debt limit today, so we can't borrow anymore. But the Treasury Department will be taking steps to keep funding government payments, but only until June.
White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre says Congress must raise the debt limit without drama or delay.
It is essential for Congress to recognize that dealing with the debt ceiling is their constitutional responsibility. This is an easy one. This is something that should be happening without conditions.
House Republicans are demanding linking a debt limit increase to new caps on spending.
Fox's Jared Halpern. Congressman Chip Roy tells Fox Business those cuts are necessary to rein in Democrats.
The climate change, worshiping and the woke policies that are undermining our ability to create wealth.
President Biden will leave for California next hour to get an update on the response to all the damage recent storms did, dumping feet of rain, causing flooding, and hundreds of mudslides. At least 20 people were killed. There's a call from some activists in Atlanta for a night of rage tomorrow night, calling on violence against police. After a shooting yesterday outside a new public safety training center, as law enforcement tried to clear a protest encampment, one of the men in a tent refused to comply and shot a state trooper.
The individual who fired upon law enforcement and shot the trooper was killed in the exchange of gunfire.
Georgia Bureau of Investigation Director Mike Register says the trooper is in intensive care after surgery. For the second time in a week, the U.S. Supreme Court has refused to block new gun restrictions in New York while appeals play out in lower courts.
Gun sellers argue New York's new laws hurt their businesses. They wanted a temporary injunction against the laws, which call for firearms dealers to secure guns in a locked area, install security systems, and give gun sales records to government law enforcement.
Fox's Nigel Nato. Now, the court could ultimately still block the law like it did to a previous New York gun law, which led to this new one being passed and challenged. America's listening to Fox News.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel vPro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
As a Walgreens pharmacist, I talk with people all the time about little tips and tricks for filling their Medicare prescriptions, like taking advantage of Walgreens 90-day refills to save them a trip, or using Refill by Scan, which is super easy and right on your phone. And for anybody worried about prescription costs, I say, hey, we got you, with low-cost copays on many medications.
Let's talk about making things easier. Walgreens is here. Fill your way and save at walgreens.com/Medicare. See pharmacists for restrictions and exclusions.
Still dry, a few clouds around 27 degrees. WIBX News Time is 8:03. This news update is brought to you by My Carl's epic 4-day mega sale. Queen mattresses from $199, sofa and love seats from $799, bedroom sets from $599. Shop My Carl's today in the New Hartford Shopping Center or at Destiny USA. We do have a winter weather advisory kicking in at 10 this morning, continuing until 7 tomorrow morning. A closer look at that forecast and what you can expect in just a few minutes. An Oneida County grand jury returning an indictment for murder in connection with a fatal shooting last month in the city of Utica. Police providing an update to their homicide investigation in what officials called a senseless act of violence. It resulted in the death of 20-year-old Tyrus Freeman from Utica. Following the indictment, cops say they have now formally arrested and charged 28-year-old James Ware in the shooting. He's from Utica, facing 1 count of second-degree murder, 2 counts of criminal possession of a weapon. That murder charge, Ware is facing a Class A1 felony in New York State, meaning if convicted, he would face a minimum of 15 years in prison and as much as life behind bars. Meanwhile, members of the Syracuse Common Council speaking out about the tragic shooting death of an 11-year-old girl earlier this week. Brexley Torres Ortiz was hit by gunfire near Oakwood Ave and Martin Luther King East in Syracuse. She was pronounced dead after being rushed to a nearby hospital. The majority leader of the council says she believes someone knows who killed the young girl and that efforts will be made to crack down on crime across the city. Governor Kathy Hochul's nominee to serve as chief judge of the state's Court of Appeals has been rejected by the Senate Judiciary Committee. Judge Hector LaSalle took part in a confirmation hearing in front of the committee in Albany, facing questions about his judicial record. Now, Hochul says she believes the hearing was not a fair one because multiple senators revealed how they would vote in advance. The governor did not say if she'll take legal action to try and force a full Senate to vote on LaSalle's nomination. A central New York community has been named one of the best markets in the entire country for first-time home buyers, that being Mattydale. It finished in 9th place in the latest list that was put together by Realtor.com. The rankings based on multiple factors, including job opportunity, affordability, commute times, and the number of places to eat and drink. Portsmouth, Virginia was ranked number 1 on the list, followed by DeForest, Wisconsin. The state's Office of Fire Prevention and Control starting outreach efforts to protect firefighters and their families from the latest threat of cancer. One goal of the initiative is to raise awareness among members of the fire service about how they can develop protocols to prevent cancer. Data shows that firefighters are at a higher risk of getting cancer because of the number of toxins they're exposed to. If the gear is not decontaminated properly, officials also say they might be exposing family members to those harmful chemicals. Your WIBX Weather Center forecast again has a winter weather advisory in place from 10 this morning until 7 tomorrow morning. What to expect today: rain showers, possibly mixing with snow, becoming all rain after 5 p.m., a high of 35. Tonight, rain showers. We could see a mix of snow and freezing rain in there. An overnight low of 33 degrees. Friday, rain and snow showers before 1 p.m., then all snow in the afternoon. A high reaching 37 for Saturday, mostly cloudy, and a high of 31. Right now, it's not raining yet. We have a few clouds, 27 degrees. WIBX News Time is 8:07.
All right, from the IBEW Local 43 Sports Desk, it has happened. The Cowboys are adding a kicker in the aftermath of Brett Maher's meltdown in the wild card round. Dallas has signed veteran Tristan Vizcaino, or Viceno? How do you?
I think it's Vizcaino.
Vizcaino. All right.
I believe so.
I don't think it's a name you're going to have to remember. You never know. He might have a big weekend, but probably not. He's been named to the practice squad because you never know, right? After missing 4 or 5. You learned it was 5 field goals.
Yeah, it was 4 in the one game.
Extra points, 4 in a game, and 1 previously was his final extra point attempt. But then he finally made one at the end of the game over the weekend. I have some numbers to give you coming up in a second, some line numbers, and see where things are moving going into this weekend. I'll do that coming up in a second. The Rams are replacing a whole bunch of people. Coaching staff with some major changes. According to The Athletic, L.A. has parted ways with their special teams coach, offensive line coach, defensive backs coach, the assistant defensive line coach, the defensive assistant. All last week, they also opted to not renew the contract of linebackers and other players. Head coach Sean McVay will also look to replace the offensive coordinator. I mean, they are just doing a major overhaul.
And I'll tell you what, look, it happens. They had a down year, okay? But, I mean, didn't they not just win a Super Bowl less than a year ago? Less than 12 months ago, that team was raising the Lombardi Trophy.
Bulls and Pistons will play today for the first time since 2020 in Paris today. The Wizards snapped a 2-game skid after taking down the Knicks 116-105 at Madison Square Garden last night. The Nets visit the Suns tonight. In the NHL, the Islanders fell to the Bruins 4-1, and the Rangers will host Boston tonight. Some local action here. Syracuse plays at 12 noon. That is on the Yes Network, right, on Saturday?
Yes.
That is the Yes Network. Utica City FC plays at home Saturday night, 6 p.m. at the Adirondack Bank Center. The Comets will be home Friday night at the Odd, and then they'll be playing Syracuse. Then Saturday they play in Syracuse. And you know that this Tuesday they'll be replaying or resuming the blackout game. The game ended with 2 minutes and 43 seconds left.
In the second.
In the second period. and they'll pick up at that point. So the way they're going to do it is they'll play the remaining 2 minutes and 43 seconds, and then the goalies will switch sides, and everybody switches directions without an intermission. They'll play period 3, and that'll be your night out. They have all sorts of specials they're doing.
$3 beers, $3 hot dogs.
Pioneers ranked second in the country right now. They'll play at Lebanon Valley both Friday and Saturday on the road. It's been a while since we've had Gary Heenan on. We'll speak with him later on in the week. Head coach Gary Heenan, and we're the month of February away from taking a look at conference championships and ultimately the playoffs.
Fear the Moose.
Fear the Moose. And then, if you care, odds of winning the Super Bowl. We've read all these things that after the Bills struggled with Miami, all of a sudden they've lost credibility. Well, maybe they have with fans and with reporters, but with Vegas, not so much. The Bills are still odds favorite to make it to the Super Bowl, and will, if you're looking at the Vegas line, would ultimately lose to the Kansas City Chiefs. Well, actually, they wouldn't make it to the Super Bowl, right? But the Kansas City Chiefs are, my direction of that is completely all screwed up. Let me start over. Kansas City Chiefs are plus 310. The Bills are plus 340. The 49ers plus 375. The Eagles plus 525. Long shot for the Giants to make it to the Super Bowl. You'd 2,800, plus 2,800.
Wow.
There are a lot of people that are saying it would not be a bad pick, the Giants this weekend.
Look,
especially when you look at the line.
It was everybody's upset pick last weekend, and sure enough, they came through and they got the win. The Giants look good. They've looked the best they've looked all season long, the last several weeks, and haven't in the regular season didn't look any better than they did this past weekend. I mean, the offense was firing. Daniel Jones was moving the ball up and down the field. He was literally Danny Dimes this weekend. I'd love to see that continue in Philadelphia. But, man, I'm looking at my clock, and I think we're approaching midnight here.
So, but the Giants and Eagles, the line, the Giants are 7.5-point underdogs. Think about that. So, a lot of people taking a look at that game.
Yeah,
absolutely. Jeff Stone, my apologies. The Utica City FC is on the road Saturday night. There is no game at home at the Adirondack Bank Center on Saturday night. Sorry about that. And time for me to break. It's 8:12. When I'm going on too long, it's just not good. It's never good. Never, ever good. This hour, meteorologist Mark McGinnis. Number one, we'll get a little update on where we're looking when it comes to this ice storm that could be a multiple-day event over the next couple of days. But then another storm next week to start off the week, and then later in the week they're saying we could be hit with another one. Are we on the road now? Is there significant snowfall in our future? One thing he says is you should have some form, especially with these ice storms, especially with the warmer temperatures, some form of a backup energy system.
Oh, okay.
Like a generator.
That's a great idea.
Highly recommends it. We'll talk to him about all of that and the forecast coming up. John Decker got into it during the White House press conference yesterday and I have the audio, and he went back and forth with the press secretary. I feel bad for her. She's just thrown out there with no information, with nothing. Nobody's in. Like, just, you can handle them. You know what you're doing out there. She's in the crossfire. I give her till, I don't know, end of the summer. She'll be like, I've had enough of this.
I'll tell you, some of her answers just make me want to smash my head against the wall.
You mean some of her non-answers? We'll speak to John Decker about it. It got heated. Coming up here, 8:14 at WIBX.
Adirondack Home Furniture's Flex Steel Big Game Sale is going on now, but only for a limited time. Hurry in for discounts up to 15% off select sofas, recliners, occasional pieces, and leather furniture. With hundreds of designer fabrics to choose from, your new piece is guaranteed to have the look you want. Stop dreaming and start creating the home of your dreams with quality, long-lasting Flex Steel furniture from Adirondack Home Furniture. Beauty and comfort is made to last with Flex Steel's exclusive lifetime lifetime warranty Blue Steel spring seating. Stop into Adirondack Home Furniture today and save up to 15% during their big game sale. Visit their Flex Steel gallery for the best selection of Flex Steel furniture on sale. The best value and top quality furniture for your home is at Adirondack Home Furniture. You don't want to miss out on the Flex Steel big game sale at Adirondack Home Furniture. Hurry in, sale ends soon. Located at the former Riverside Mall, Horatio Street, Utica.
Are you ready to make the most important decision for your child's future? Some are easy, some are not. Some make all the difference, like choosing Notre Dame schools. Offering grades pre-K through 12, your child will be ready to learn and thrive in a challenging atmosphere surrounded by great teachers and the most current technology. Notre Dame offers small class sizes, high academic standards, and spiritual fulfillment. At Notre Dame, we foster an environment of diversity and community. Students feel supported and more confident in achieving their goals. Our students learn from each other and are challenged to grow and develop their innate talents. Notre Dame is faith-based, but everyone is welcome. If you have higher expectations for your child, Notre Dame offers a higher level experience. If you're ready to launch your child's future into the most successful career path and build the next generation of leaders, call today for a tour or visit NotreDameUtica.org. Notre Dame schools, ready to learn, destined to lead.
If I could be you.
And you could be me for just 1 hour.
If you could find a way.
To get inside each other's mind.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes.
We've all felt left out. And for some, that feeling lasts more than a moment. We can change that. Learn how at belongingbeginswithus.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
You wash your hands, you brush your teeth, but how do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out allergens, mucus, and germs. And it's why cleaning your nose, the body's air filter, is the next evolution in daily personal hygiene. Navage helps you breathe better, sleep deeper, and snore less, but the biggest payoff is improved health. At Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Maybe somebody who's out there could give us a little update on the live stream. I think that it's working properly, but I don't know. Davey, are you getting any phone calls on that?
Nope, nothing.
We're live on YouTube always. No, I guess it is okay. Oh, right. It is okay. I don't know if it is. Check it out. Just search Keeler live stream on YouTube. You can also download our app. Easy to do. Manaski will fill you in right here.
Yeah, all you have to do is download the app. It's a great way to communicate with us. We did have a couple of comments coming in this morning. One about the Bills game. Carol helped me out with something this morning, and Alan Herkimer with a little joke this morning that went over my head initially. We were talking about snowflakes, and he said the House Republicans are snowflakes. So I found that interesting. We were talking about snowflakes last hour, actually in the first hour of the program this morning. And a note on YouTube, it's so easy, my mom could do it. So my mother, and I did give her some instructions, but all you have to do is, if you have a smart TV, YouTube, the app should be embedded right on there, right on your TV. It's no subscription. It's not going to cost you any money. You just go, you click YouTube. It's not the YouTube live TV thing where you pay like it's a cable subscription. You just go to the app, search Keeler Live in the search bar.
And it pops up.
Today's episode will be there. Yesterday's.
They archive
Tuesdays,
immediately.
Mondays,
immediately
last Friday.
At like 9 o'clock when we go off the air, it automatically archives. The app is easy to download. Go to Google Play or the App Store. Search WIBX 950. Take care of that. And, of course, we're on AM and FM. 106.9 FM as well as 950 AM, which is where we've been for many, many years.
Like 100 years. Actually not that many.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. John says, looks great. The YouTube feed working fine. Debbie says it's fine. And I have some other comments as well. How about Michael this morning saying, Mike says, I've lost him. Sorry, I lost him. Greeley says, there's an informed delivery service email you can sign up for. I've been using it for years. It's awesome. I am, and Donna asked the same question. We were talking about the mail service. I am signed up for that, which is how we knew we were supposed to get mail, and we didn't.
Oh, okay.
So I knew what I know what I'm getting. In fact, I'm looking I'm yearning for the moment I get to open up a piece of mail. That's all I'm going to say there. Officials, this is Wayne. The officials in charge of the system just have to tweak the laws. Jail time or penalties should fit the crime. Seems no matter what criminals are getting away with crime, they're getting away with crime. There is no fear. That is a problem, and I think we have to do some real real improvements. We're going to talk to John Decker. I mentioned this morning. You have some other comments as well. I'll let you take those, and then I'll move on.
Well, I don't have more comments. I was looking at all the lines for this weekend.
The Bills, the line on the Bills game is 5.5.
It's getting up there because, I guess if it's increased from 5 to 5.5, that means most people are betting Buffalo, which does surprise me.
I thought it was 5.5 yesterday, but I could be wrong.
I believe it opened at 5, and I've got it here on DraftKings at 5. I shouldn't plug them without payment, but my sports betting app that I use, I have them +5.
How about the Kansas City Chiefs? Are 9-point favorites over Jacksonville.
Look,
because everybody thinks the Chiefs are just unstoppable.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, in my opinion, it's just my opinion. If you looked at last week's game against San Diego, the Jacksonville LA Charger game. I always do that. It'll never be out of my brain that's not San Diego. The Jacksonville Chargers game. Trevor Lawrence threw 4 picks in that game. And the Chargers defense couldn't stop you and I out there playing catch, okay? So they were able to mount this historic comeback and win the game. I don't know. I think if on an average week, you're more likely to see 4 picks from Trevor Lawrence than you are to see a 27-point come from behind victory. I have a feeling that this game is a blowout game. Kansas City wins by 2 or 3 touchdowns.
Okay.
I've been wrong a lot this year. But it's interesting to me because I think the Giants-Eagles game could be somewhat close. And that line's 7. On my app here, it's 7.5. So you got 8.5 for Jacksonville against Kansas City, and the Giants are getting 7.5 against Philadelphia. One of those lines is way off, and I think it's actually the first one there.
Stephen A. Smith is apologizing. Did you see this? After saying something. You can't say anything today. You can't say it because people can't handle the truth.
Right.
You can't handle the truth, Davey. You can't. What movie was that from?
Oh, that was from the one with Jack Nicholson and Tom Cruise, right? I don't know what.
Terrible impression, but I think I might have gotten
I don't know what the movie
wording
was.
Right.
A Few Good Men?
A Few Good Men.
A Few Good Men.
You can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth. Rihanna cannot handle the truth. Apparently, Stephen A. Smith said something really negative about the Super Bowl halftime performer Rihanna on the Sherry Shepherd show. Here's the original comment, and listen to the audience react. People, we are in a today. We have moved into a world where even the lightest negative comment is getting huge reaction from people. Listen to this.
Are you excited for this halftime show?
I don't want to say I'm not excited. She's fantastic. That's
Yes.
that's not where I'm going with this.
Okay, where you going?
She's a lot of things. She's spectacular, actually.
Yes.
And congratulations on new mamahood.
I sent
There's
buttons.
one thing she's not.
Uh-huh.
She ain't Beyonce.
I know she's not Beyonce, but wait a minute, hold up.
Well, people were up in arms. Up in arms. How dare you?
Listen, how much trouble would he be in if he came out?
Shame. They call it beyond shaming. And how dare you beyond shame her?
How much trouble would he be in if he came out and she said, there's one thing she is. She's definitely Beyonce. She is Beyonce.
Yeah.
All he said was look, there are tiers and calibers. And it's fine for him to have the opinion that Beyonce is a top shelf entertainer or singer or performer, whatever, halftime show. But Rihanna's great, but she's not at that level.
Yeah, people go nuts. After receiving a lot of flack for his comments, Stephen A. Smith made an apology to Rihanna. Here's a little bit of his 3-minute-long rambling apology. Here we go.
I'm gonna own it. I know what y'all trying to do. I want Rihanna to know you're a superstar and you are a worthy person to be doing the Super Bowl halftime show. I'm just saying that I'm a Beyonce fan, that's all. Rihanna, go do your thing. I apologize for...
He apologized. Now, if you recall, I got a little criticism the other day when Celeste Friend was on, if you recall, and I had said that, there are people out there that are saying, this one, I wouldn't vote for this one, I wouldn't vote for this one. But Celeste Friend, she is a nightmare. I can't even tell you how bad it would be if she were elected mayor. And
you didn't say that. That's what
I didn't say
some
it. I said
opinions were shared with you.
Others have said. And now I will say Celeste was not bad about it, but others were. Because at one point she said, well, thank you for considering my feelings. And I'm like, well, I didn't consider your feelings at all, to be honest. I knew you could handle it, is what I was saying. To her.
Right.
She can handle it. I think listen, I'm impressed with her. I would say that. She is willing. I'm impressed with anybody who will say to us, I'll come on the air. I don't care what's going on, whether you agree with me or disagree. I'm going to stand by my opinion.
And explain where I'm coming from.
Explain where I'm coming from, and I accept the fact that you think I'm wrong. Okay.
I love it.
To me, that is America right there. That is the best. And I give her credit for that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna fight with you over it. You don't agree with me. I don't agree with you. But I'm not gonna back down from what I believe.
Right.
What more could you ask for out of a politician?
Right.
Now you may not agree with her. You may think she's too progressive or too far left, but she's willing to stand up and say, "This is this is what I believe," and I think you're wrong. All of a sudden, we've demonized people today. It's like if you have an opposing opinion, all of a sudden now you're a horrible person and you're going to destroy America. In this case, destroy Utica. That's bullcrap. We have been disagreeing since the inception of this nation. Some of our we always like to talk about our forefathers. Boy, our forefathers. Yeah, they'd be rolling in their grave, but not because people are disagreeing. It's because of the reaction we're getting from the disagreement and the fact that now we just feel like, because they felt the same way about each other back then. John Adams and Thomas Jefferson. Think of our forefathers who vehemently disagreed with each other.
If I can go back to the Stephen A. Smith apology, I just wish at the end of the cut there he didn't say, I apologize, because I was, first of all, I agree with him that Beyonce is a superstar, a diva, and Rihanna is certainly impressive and amazing, and I like Rihanna. I'm a fan of Rihanna. I just think I agree with his point that Beyonce is like, the top shelf. And in his apology, he did apologize at the end, but he could have stopped short of apologizing and just gave his whole answer minus the apology. We have to apologize. Like, if you have a preference on a soft drink or a adult beverage or a movie or an actor, you got to apologize because you don't think as much as the other person? You have a favorite?
I apologize for all the Diet Coke fans.
And I am sorry to all the Eagles fans, notably John Nagel, because I will be rooting for my team, not your team this weekend. And I know I'm hurting a lot of feelings by saying that.
You might even be hoping the Eagles lose.
You can't say that.
Jack is in Utica, and then I want to talk some weather here. Hi, Jack. Good morning.
Yes. I'm calling about the Utica School Board.
Yes, sir.
In my opinion, we had a real great superintendent who did a lot of things.
Okay.
Mr.
Karam.
Karam. Number one, he started the vocational program. And number two, he is adding more teachers to make the classroom smaller and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I think he's done a good job. Then the board, to add salt to the injury, I guess you can say, they have him go home with pay and so on.
So there's an investigation into alleged wrongdoing. So until we know what that is, I believe the jury's out. That's just how I look at it.
Yeah.
I can't imagine they just sent him. They put him on administrative leave just willy-nilly. It's like, you know what? Today we're going to hold on. Today we're just going to put him on administrative leave. I can't imagine. There's got to be something, or there's nothing. And until we know, we don't know, right?
Yeah. Well, we do, and I'll tell you.
Oh, we do know.
Fauci could
actually
run the school board.
Who could?
Or the school district, and he's got the qualifications, just as many as Mr. Nolan. Why are we paying this guy all this extra money?
Who could be running the district right now?
He's probably taking a wage that's...
Does anybody hear me? Can you hear
Fauci.
me?
It's Mr. Fauci, not Fauci like the CDC.
Oh, Fauci. Okay.
Mr. Fauci, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's like the next in charge as far as superintendent and everything.
I do not know the answer to that, but here's what I'm willing to do. Let's bring on the school board president and ask some questions. I know that because there's an ongoing investigation, he can't really specifically talk about the Bruce Karam thing. However, Jack, I think that he may be able to answer why they've done what they've done. Why did they go with, I believe it's called an acting superintendent, as opposed to using somebody within the district. So I don't know the answer.
As a matter of fact, this Nolan is talking about becoming superintendent of the Utica School District.
Well, I don't know anything about that. All I can tell you is, based on my knowledge of people in the education world and my relationship with those, he comes highly recommended. He is well respected in education. So that's all I can tell you that I do know. But I'm going to look into it. Maybe we can do this tomorrow. I'll see what I can do, okay?
Okay.
All right, Jack. Thank you so much.
Appreciate the call.
You have a great day. All right.
Bye.
Thank you.
By the way, fingers crossed, if anybody's listening in the front office, if Town Square could put me on administrative leave, just send me home, keep paying me. It's not much, but I'll see you guys in a few months.
Yeah,
I've done some horrible things here, by the way.
If I'm Bruce Karam, I'm doing somersaults in my hallway. I'm just like, this is amazing. They're paying me to stay home. And it's legal.
Yeah.
Because it's not always legal when people get jobs and they don't have to work, but they get paid. That's a problem. But in this case, it's completely legal. I hope Mr. Karam is somersaulting all the way to the bank.
And good morning, because he might be checking us out on YouTube today.
Mark McGinnis is a meteorologist, and we have a lot of very interesting weather that we're facing, and he's on the line right now. Mark, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Bill. How are you?
Good. First of all, for our area, what do you think how bad is it going to get here with this freezing rain? We have some schools closing without really bad weather. In anticipation of bad weather this afternoon, we can deal with a lot of snow, but when we get ice, snow tires don't help with ice.
Yeah, I mean, you're like everybody else across the country. Ice is the worst possible outcome, right,
Yeah,
from any
yeah.
kind of winter storm, as far as just inconvenience and danger, as far as moving around.
Sure.
This storm coming through today, tonight, there will be pockets of ice, especially in the valleys north of you, but it's not going to be a widespread problem. So think of this storm more as an inconvenience compared to other winter storms you guys have dealt with in the past and what you'll deal with in the future.
Now I'm seeing that we might be looking at a couple of storms next week, like the end of the weekend, beginning of next week, and then one further down. Do you see any of that for us?
It's definitely looking like the pattern gets more active next week.
Okay.
And, that's actually typical for most of the United States, but especially the East Coast, is late January, especially through February and the first half of March. Our storms, especially along the East Coast and the nor'easters, climatologically speaking, really ramp up. So that's when we see the highest number of them.
I have to say, this year we've really, Buffalo, Tug Hill, of course, is the snow capital of the country, even though it doesn't normally get mentioned all that often. Sometimes it does. Syracuse, Buffalo have been hit far more than we have been hit. Although Buffalo, is just how they've been hit is
it's a whole nother category.
Abnormal this year.
Twice.
Yeah, twice. But here we just have not seen much snow at all. Are you anticipating that we're going to pay for this lack of snow and warmer temperatures? Are we still going to get hit hard?
I think it's pretty tough in Utica to avoid snow during the entire winter. So think of the first, say, month as a blessing.
Yeah,
you haven't had to use as much as possible, but yeah, I think it's going to be very difficult for you to go through the next 2 months of winter with a repeat of what we've seen the last 30 days. So anticipate snow to fall. There probably will be several storms and think of it, we're not even halfway through winter.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
We've been blessed. It's been warm. The heating bill is not going to be as hot as it or as high as it normally would be. So, yeah, we're getting off pretty well so far.
Well, winter lasts till May 30th around here.
Yeah. Can I have you react to a couple of comments made by listeners? I'd love your thoughts on them. One of them came yesterday. Bill, you were sharing this. You talked about how it's been warmer and we haven't had much snow this first month or so of winter, but the comment was, we're going to pay for this before it's all over. What do you think of that? Is that true? If we start warm, we end with an awful winter?
No, it's not. I wish it was that binary, right? It's not that simple. But I do anticipate that you're going to get to more normal conditions, and it could happen as early as next week. So, like I said, we're not even halfway through winter, so there's going to be a lot of snow coming.
Yeah, that's such a realization to think that we've gotten through the holidays. We're almost to February, and the reality is we're not halfway through.
I do keep talking about 2007. We had weather much like this, where we had warmer, much unseasonably warm temperatures. In some cases, we got up into the 50s and 60s during January, and then all of a sudden we got hit with a Valentine's Day blizzard. And it seemed to snow for the next 2.5 months every day. It was just a good example of you're in upstate New York. You just you never know. One of the things that most of us up here realize, but sometimes procrastinate on, and that is having a backup power supply, because as we get hit with these really extreme storms that include ice and heavy, wet snow, power lines come down. Your power could go out. And if it lasts for a prolonged period, you're going to want to have some sort of a backup, I would assume.
Yeah, and if that's critical for you, if you need that at your home, backup power is the best way to keep the power on, whether it's a portable generator that you have outside, which, again, always has to be outside if you're running it, or you have one of the home standby generators that are made by companies like Generac. They automatically kick in those home standbys. So if you need that peace of mind, if you need that power all the time, and a lot of people do, because of their situation.
Yeah.
Those are excellent resources. Think of it as insurance, right? It's one of those things that you're happy to pay for because when you have to use it, boy, you're grateful for it.
Right.
We see this, unfortunately, in different parts of the country when there's outages. I know this notably happened in Texas several years ago. We can't underscore that safety note enough. If you have a generator, a backup generator, put it outside. It's not a convenience thing. It's not a fire hazard. It emits carbon monoxide, which will kill you and your family. The generator must be placed outside the home.
Well,
and at least 10 feet, away from your home.
You'll see people thinking it's okay to put it in the garage. That is not the case. So you got to be really careful with that. What is? I'm reading this in your information. It's called the Power Outage Central. What is that?
So that is a resource and an area of Generac where we track specific weather variables. You mentioned a couple of them already that create outages. So in addition to freezing rain, like to give you an example, freezing rain causes outages once we start seeing ice accumulation of about, say, between 1/10 of an inch and 1/4 of an inch because of the weight of the ice on lines and limbs, too, because limbs come down. But sleet doesn't. So even though they're both ice, freezing rain coats, whereas sleet just bounces off. And as a result, it doesn't add to weight. You mentioned heavy wet snow. That creates outages, too, because, again, the weight of the snow. And then the third one we really keep an eye on are strong winds. So when you have a combination of all three or two of those, you typically see a lot of power lines and branches coming down.
Yeah.
And as a follow-up to that, can you this was the comment that Richard made this morning, which was about if we're forecast to be above freezing throughout the day, overnight, and tomorrow morning, is there a real concern for sleet or freezing rain, et cetera? Can you talk about how that works, how the ground temperature can be above freezing, yet we can still, or can we still experience those things?
So this isn't very common, but I've seen it happen before. You can have above freezing temperatures. Say the temperature's 34, but your ground's still frozen. So say there's an Arctic blast that came through Utica in northern New York, and it's similar to around Christmas where, you're around or below zero for 2 days. That ground freezes, and it takes a little bit of time for it to thaw. So there are times where we've had freezing rain, it's 34 degrees because the ground is still an ice cube. It's still, the ground might be 27 degrees.
Gotcha.
So that happens, but it's most common when the air temperature is below freezing, and you get the rain falling into it from above.
Listen, it's I do think that as we're looking at these storms, and we maybe are a little warmer, no matter where you are on global warming and who causes it or what causes it. The fact is we are getting warmer for whatever reason, and it is affecting the weather. And I do think we're more apt to lose power when that happens, and you got to be prepared. It's just a fact of life, something we're going to be dealing with. I am in an area where many of our power lines, most of our lines are buried underground, which for the first time in my life, we're living in a place where the power doesn't normally go out. In fact, I've been there for 5 years and the power has never gone out. Whereas you live in the country, it's a completely different world.
Yeah, and that's part of the equation too. It's not only about the intensity of the weather, which, we're always going to have years where we're going to have at least one or two big, strong storms, and some years it might be 4 or 5, and those are the kind of storms that have a high impact on all of us, and that could create outages. But what you'll find too is the other half of the equation is we didn't really develop our country all that well as far as infrastructure. So we have a lot of infrastructure that's susceptible to these more powerful storms that we're going to see throughout every single year.
Mark McGinnis, meteorologist, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you very much. You guys stay dry.
You do the same. Thanks. Because it's going to be icy and rainy. Rainy today is what we're going to be dealing with. Mike this morning with a comment saying, I got to say, and he is absolutely correct, it's going to be wonderful when we go all electric and ban the use of natural gas so we can have generators and our power lines fall down. The reality is we don't have the infrastructure. We're not able to pull all of this off during storms. How are we going to be able to it's just not there. The infrastructure is not there. And in regards to disagreeing, people politically disagreeing, we should go back to the old days when we would disagree and have duels, because that's a part of our American history. It's crazy. 8:45 coming up. John Decker from Gray TV got into it with the White House press secretary yesterday. It was heated, and I loved every minute of it.
You should have seen how many times she blinked while answering his question.
We'll talk about it coming up next to WIBX.
Adirondack Home Furniture's Flex Steel Big Game Sale is going on now, but only for a limited time. Hurry in for discounts up to 15% off select sofas, recliners, occasional pieces, and leather furniture. With hundreds of designer fabrics to choose from, your new piece is guaranteed to have the look you want. Stop dreaming and start creating the home of your dreams with quality, long-lasting Flex Steel furniture from Adirondack Home Furniture. Beauty and comfort is made to last with Flex Steel's exclusive lifetime warranty blue steel spring seating. Stop into Adirondack Home Furniture today and save up to 15% during their big game sale. Visit their Flex Steel gallery for the best selection of Flex Steel furniture on sale. The best value and top quality furniture for your home is at Adirondack Home Furniture. You don't want to miss out on the Flex Steel big game sale at Adirondack Home Furniture. Hurry in, sale ends soon. Located at the former Riverside Mall, Horatio Street, Utica.
Uncertainty, the unknown. These can be some of the greatest fears people face. There is a chance for a life of greater certainty that the Rome Rescue Mission provides. We call it a hand up, not a handout. The Rome Rescue Mission provides the basic necessities and the skills needed to start a new life. It starts simply with someone to talk to. Knowing that someone cares. The Rome Rescue Mission strives to meet basic needs, food, shelter, and clothing, but more importantly, provides emotional and spiritual support. The Rome Rescue Mission helps people start a new and promising life. Being in need is not a choice. Helping is. An unlimited future starts at the Rome Rescue Mission through your generous support. Make a difference and donate now. RomeMission.org. That's RomeMission.org. Rome Rescue Mission. A hand up, not a handout.
Hey, the River Hills Properties mission is to give you more services when it comes to selling your home, to make life easier when it comes to selling your home, to lower the stress level when it comes to selling your home, to do it all in a much speedier process when it comes to selling your home. That's the River Hills way, and they put their money where their mouths are. Does that make sense? Listen, they completely invest in the sale of your home. Your listing agent begins by learning everything there is to know about the property. And then they create a book, everything there is to know about the house and the improvements and the warranties and your property. It becomes the manual for the home, a perfect tool if somebody's thinking about making an offer on the home. And then your listing agent is there every time the house is shown. That has multiple benefits. Number one, if somebody has a question, your listing agent is there to answer the question. Your house is prepped and ready to go. It's tidied up. You never have to worry about trying to get in and making sure the door unlocks properly or that the lights are on, et cetera, et cetera. It's talking about really putting your right foot forward, your best visual, the best experience that a prospective buyer can have. That's what your listing agent creates for River Hills Properties. That's an awful lot. And it's a lot different than what you'll get from other real estate agencies. River Hills Properties in Barneville, Little Falls, Utica, and all throughout upstate New York. Online, it's riverhillspropertiesllc.com. Call 315-896-1009. Remember, nobody sells homes like River Hills Properties.
On behalf of IBEW Local 43 Union Electricians and the NECA Contractors, we are pleased to partner with Syracuse University in providing our members with an opportunity to enhance their education at this great university.
Syracuse University's partnership with the IBEW will provide talented students the opportunity to advance their careers while shaping the future of the electrical trades and the industries they serve.
Central New York's future is bright, and the IBEW Local 43 and NECA will continue to help light, power, and grow Central New York.
They say they'll get your biggest tax refund. Jackson Hewitt says your biggest tax refund guaranteed, and a chance to double your tax refund. Thousands in weekly prizes during the Double Your Refund sweepstakes. Your biggest refund times 2, twice the money, so forget about them. File your taxes on the double at Jackson Hewitt today. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to U.S. residents 18 or older who file a 2022 federal tax return. Promotion ends 4/2/23. Visit jacksonhewitt.com for rules.
Are you ready to make the most important decision for your child's future? Some are easy, some are not. Some make all the difference, like choosing Notre Dame schools. Offering grades pre-K through 12, your child will be ready to learn and thrive in a challenging atmosphere surrounded by great teachers and the most current technology. Notre Dame offers small class sizes, high academic standards, and spiritual fulfillment. At Notre Dame, we foster an environment of diversity and community. Students feel supported and more confident in achieving their goals. Our students learn from each other and are challenged to grow and develop their innate talents. Notre Dame is faith-based, but everyone is welcome. If you have higher expectations for your child, Notre Dame offers a higher level experience. If you're ready to launch your child's future into the most successful career path and build the next generation of leaders, call today for a tour or visit NotreDameUtica.org. Notre Dame schools ready to learn, destined to lead.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Tara, quote, "My doctor wanted me to do saline rinses for my allergies, but I've never been able to successfully use a neti pot. Navage uses suction power, so it's foolproof. There are nights when I'll have particularly bothersome allergies. I'll bust it out, and the results are immediate. It's such a relief. It's become a lifesaver." Unquote. She's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
Ricky Z and everybody at Steve Ponte Mazda ready to take care of you in 2023. It is the ultimate car buying customer experience. It is the ultimate car leasing customer experience. And it's also the ultimate experience in pre-owned vehicles. Great vehicles. Love my CX-9. The Mazda has become a really solid vehicle that has great gas mileage, and you certainly need that with the prices today. They're just great vehicles. Incredible new state-of-the-art dealership. It's brand new there. Fast, friendly, professional service. It's a completely different buying experience. Come in and let's make your deal, says Ricky Z at Steve Ponte Mazda. Commercial Drive in Yorkville, the family-owned and operated Steve Ponte Mazda.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
The official coffee of the Keeler in the Morning radio program is from Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. They're lattes. They have over 14 flavors. Think about the breakfast sandwiches, fresh bagels every day, fresh donuts each day, and that drive-thru with Chuck and everybody at Daylight is lightning fast. You're in, you get your order, and you are on your way. It's Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. I'm not going to have time to talk about this today, but I will tomorrow. Sony has released a new Walkman. It's a brand. How much are they selling it for, Davey?
I think she said about $500.
Holy cow.
Wait. A cassette? Like a cassette?
No. It's going to be MP3 where you can play music and you can play videos. What can't you do? You can't make a phone call. I have an iPhone for that.
I was going to say.
I don't even get it. You have an Android for that. I don't even get why they're doing it, but they are.
And it's several $100.
Correct.
It's like the cost of a phone, but you can't make calls on it.
John Decker is with Great TV, and he's on the line right now. He actually was an original owner of a Walkman many years ago, I believe.
I was.
Yeah.
Absolutely. A Walkman Sports. Remember them yellow cases? I had a Walkman Sports.
I do remember that. It was durable. You were rugged, right? You could...
there you go.
Yeah.
I think it was water resistant. That was the thing that sold me on it.
I just don't understand what they're thinking. I don't know what they're thinking about right now, where they're like, we've reintroduced it. It's a brand new, and this has video.
It's
And
called an iPod, which they've also discontinued.
Which they have, yeah. I don't know.
And by the way, did that Walkman, as you call it, come with wireless headphones? It didn't, did it?
No.
No, of course not. No.
You got into it, though, the White House press secretary, and as I said to you, and I watched the video of this yesterday, because you wanted her to answer your question. She didn't want to talk about the documents and Biden's lack of answering questions on this. And I think my response to you was, she gave you an answer, she just didn't answer your question.
Well, that's right. I called it in the briefing a non-answer answer. So
Yeah.
we're on the same page there. You know, she responded, but she did not answer the question. The question simply was it proper for President Biden to comment on an ongoing DOJ investigation involving his predecessor, Donald Trump? You know, in that 60 Minutes interview, he called his handling of classified documents, being in possession of classified documents, irresponsible. And that is the type of comment that prosecutors do not like because it influences investigations one way or the other. And so she did not answer that question, and she hasn't answered a lot of questions, quite frankly, from not just me, but my colleagues as well.
Do you agree? I kind of feel bad for her because she's being stuck out there in the middle of all of this and told, don't say anything stupid. In fact, we're not going to tell you anything. And, oh, by the way, don't say anything. That really seems to be her instructions.
I agree, and, you know, I've seen this play out before. I've covered the White House since Bill Clinton's first term, and when Bill Clinton was dealing with the Whitewater investigation, specifically Monica Lewinsky, they brought in somebody to simply deal with all the questions related to the Whitewater investigation. That was Lanny Davis, and so that left Mike McCurry, the White House press secretary at the time, free to just talk about all the other issues, domestic and foreign affairs that come before a president, and Lanny Davis handled everything else. That, to me, is what this White House needs to do, you know, because I don't think fairly Karine Jean-Pierre has done a very good job in terms of talking on behalf of the president and talking on behalf of the administration as it relates to this issue.
Somebody I saw yesterday, I believe it was on Fox, raised the question about the documents that were they White House or federal lawyers who were going in and collecting them? Because is there any concern about, you know, just the average civilian lawyer going in and now they have access to these found documents and they're the ones actually retrieving them?
Well, there is a concern because not everybody has the necessary clearances.
Right.
So if you come across a classified document, just because you're a lawyer doesn't mean that you have the clearances to view that document. So that's why it was necessary for the White House counsel to actually take a trip up to Wilmington, Delaware, to look at documents that were discovered that were classified because the lawyers that had discovered them did not have the necessary clearances.
You know, if Bill Clinton, actually, if Hillary Clinton were around or Donald Trump were around today, you'd be hearing, you know, I don't know if it's the case, but, you know, maybe somebody planted those documents there. I don't know how they got there. I'm surprised we haven't heard that out of Biden yet.
Well, it's early. It's only keep in mind, this only broke a week ago, so it's early in this whole story. We'll have to wait and see. But, you know, to have it planted at the Penn Biden Center in Washington, D.C., as well as the then former vice president's garage, that's asking for a lot in terms of talking about the possibility of planted documents.
Let me ask you this. Are you surprised? Mainstream media seems to be going after Trump, taking this pretty seriously, although if you were watching CNN last week, their whole thing was why they, instead of focusing on the documents, they were focusing on why this was different than President Trump's.
And how could they say that if nobody knows what the documents are?
But the rest of it seems like the rest of the media is handling this pretty well. Do you agree? And is that only because they've been tough on President Trump? They realize they have to do the same thing to Biden.
Well, you know, I've covered Republican and Democratic administrations. You go where the story is. And you're not doing your job unless you ask tough questions, regardless of who's in power. And so I think that the people that represent their news organizations that are seen as being easy on Joe Biden realized that they have to ask the tough questions like they always did under Donald Trump.
Well, we hope you continue to ask tough questions and to not back down. I loved your interaction yesterday. Really, really good.
Well, thanks a lot. I'll be traveling with President Biden in about an hour's time. It's a day trip out to California, literally a day trip, flying out to San Jose, a few hours on the ground, then flying back to Washington to inspect the damage associated with all that flooding, the storms out there. Hopefully we'll get an opportunity to ask President Biden some questions during this trip.
All right, John Decker, thank you. Chief White House correspondent with Great TV. We appreciate it as always.
And, John, keep your eyes
Thank
peeled.
you.
You never know what documents might turn up on that trip.
You never know.
Exactly.
Thank you,
Take
John.
care.
Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
John Decker with Great TV. All right, we got to go. We're back here tomorrow morning. It's a Friday. Fat Cats Comedy Club comedian will be in studio, Phil Selman, and we'll give away some tickets to that tomorrow as well. News is next.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica Rome, W295DI Utica Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
A night of rage. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what a group of activists is calling for in Atlanta tomorrow night. And they want that rage targeted at police, urging people on Twitter to be violent, retaliating for a shooting yesterday.
That account claims to be a part of Defend the Atlanta Forest, one of the groups protesting the construction of a new police training center. On Wednesday, as police tried to clear an encampment near the site where the center will be built, police say officers located a man inside a tent in the woods who did not comply with their orders. They say the man opened fire on a Georgia State trooper who returned fire, killing the man.